Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome to tonight, the 4th of February, 2022. It is another beautiful night out in the Arizona desert. This right here is Betelgeuse, right in the middle of the screen we're looking at. And I have with us tonight Keith, Keith from P&K SpaceImaging, Keith Ickes. Hey there, Keith. How you doing? Ooh. How are you, man?
Hey, man, I am fantabulous. Busy, but okay.
That's good.
Yes.
That's really good. Really good.
And hello to everybody in the chat that has missed my beautiful face that you never see anyway.
Well, if they saw your Skype ID, they'd know that you look like one of the Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, I put Bubbles as my Skype ID, just so when I call serious people.
That's right. And then they look at you and go,
we got a conference call, and they look at the photo like, oh, jeez. Yeah. There used to be Randy March, but they did that for some reason.
Oh, okay. Integrity Farms.
Integrity.
So I have Integrity. I have Betelgeuse here in the view right now, and you'll notice, just while it's sitting here, I've already had, waiting for the stream to start up, I've had like 5 satellites go through already.
I can confirm
and they
his
may very
findings.
well. Yeah, because you're shared the screen, so you see it.
Yep.
So I've got the automated focus system is online and doing its thing, and that's really good, and I'm pleased that it's doing that. And then let's see, I've got another few little administrative things that I've been doing, but other than that, we're cool.
I got a question.
Everything is going well. Yes, sir.
Is it a little hazy out there tonight or something? Like, why am I seeing like a little mist around the ring there? Or is that just from the camera?
That's actually a tertiary ring that you're seeing around here. This is the camera. This is a bright star. This is Betelgeuse.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what you're seeing. Like, if we were to take a longer exposure of this, then it would look, like a big bright star, but you'd see pretty dark skies. Right now we're at 250 millisecond exposure, and I'm running at a gain.
I know that. I'm not talking about the ring itself. I'm talking about why the ring is like fluctuating with like bright and low. You know what I mean? Like that ring around it, you can see it almost looks like clouds moving through the picture.
Yeah, no, you're actually seeing the 250 millisecond exposures, and you're seeing the differences in the noise moment to moment. So you're seeing the noise flicker around. That's what you're seeing. It actually doesn't have movement there.
Thank you for explaining.
So this is you're more than happily accepting of my explanation.
Yep, thank you very much.
So, yeah, you're more than welcome very much, I think.
Hey,
so anyway,
asked a question. It got answered. I'm happy.
Yeah,
just wanted to make sure it wasn't cloudy. That's all.
And that's right, and it's not.
People, this is not going to be your normal stream on Sky Team. Sky Team? Is it Sky Team?
Sky Team? What's a
Sky Stream Live Tour?
You do the news on a helicopter? What's going on? And now the view from 3,200 feet. Well, there's a tie-up on the highway.
That needs to be the new our side channel. Sky Team Live Tour. Yeah, Sky Stream Live Tour. We'll go and just have an alternate to this, just a little more raunchy.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Nah, you know what? This is cool, I mean, where else can you go to get a beautiful live deep sky observatory, right? I mean, I honestly don't know of any that take you object to object and give you finished images before we're done with them, and have a live server that it gets uploaded to right away. I mean, I'm hoping that this is starting something, you know what I mean? Because I think that it's really important to get the word out, man.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's why you have my support, sir.
I appreciate that. You got me started on this, you jerk.
Yep.
Hey, Rock. Hey, Genghis. Hey, PG. That's Petita in Pennsylvania.
Rockstar. Yep.
Justin T is here with us now. Papa Tom. Yeah, and we have JSCO 77's with us now. Jasco 77, and this guy, who's PK? That's
PK. He's from the Sky Team Live Tour.
That's right, Sky Team Live Tour. Hey, you got it right. And Michael Klages is here. Michael's actually quite a little aficionado of imaging himself, and I'm hoping that Michael can show us some of his own images at some point. So that's out to you, Michael. When you can. And we have Mugwimf, okay, out there. It's good to see you out there. And Daisy and Zoe Amethyst are here. Hi, guys. Tell me, Daisy and Zoe, is Lane with you tonight? If so, I'd like to find out how Lane is doing, but you can tell us anyway.
Hello to Papa Tom.
And Papa Tom, yeah.
And Papa Tom.
Right. So our group will grow here as the night wears on a little bit.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we started here with Betelgeuse, and it's interesting because people call it all kinds of different names. Betelgeuse, Betelgeuse, Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse.
Betelgeuse.
Yeah.
It's French.
Yeah. Yes, Pissant.
Betelgeuse.
It's French, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, Betelgeuse, Betelgeuse.
Je comme tu de Betelgeuse.
An interesting book you might be interested in is this one, and I know that it's backwards right now because I have my camera reversed so that I can see things correctly. But this is the book, all right? It's called it's focused. Star Names, Their Lore and Meaning, and it's by Richard Hinckley Allen. It is filled with more information you ever want to know about star names. So if you want to know where the name Betelgeuse comes from, you want to know where Saiph or Bellatrix or Rigel comes from, it's in there.
Yeah, I was going to read that title backwards just to be funny, and then I realized the first word would have been something not suitable for stream. And I was like, okay, I'll vote against that. If you look at it. It almost was a compulsion for me to read it.
Same and rats. That's what it says.
Yeah. Well, you said it, not me.
This is very funny.
And now we're 13 plus.
Not at all.
No.
We're not doing anything wrong.
No.
We're having a good time. We're treating everybody. Well, not yet. What? So
I hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I hope everybody's doing well. I see Cindy Murphy is here. Hi, Cindy and Zatarak. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Zatarak, Zatarak. Or Zatarak. I like it.
Oh, no.
Well, let's take a look here.
Again.
Let's bring up our entire... I missed that. What? What'd you say?
I said, let's not get into name pronunciations again.
Oh, okay.
We'll all night with that.
Yes.
Is it Zatarak or Zatarak or Zatarak?
It's Zatar. Ek. It's an alien. That's okay. So, yes. I thought maybe we're going to start off with the heavy hitters tonight, just to check things out. We looked at a bunch of things yesterday, and last night, Dr. Marc in Texas is here. Dr. Marc, how are you? Dr. Marc and I go back quite a ways, actually. And it's nice to see you, Dr. Marc. So, what I was going to get at was last night we suffered an internet down problem, and we had an internet stoppage out in the desert. But as soon as I ended the stream, guess what happened? It came
over
back.
Here. Yeah, I was going to say.
15 minutes it took, but it came back, And when it came back, I was already at the point where I was going to have to shut down because I didn't want to take the chance. And sure enough, it was fluctuating a little bit. Right now, it looks pretty good. We don't have any problems right now. But guess what? This month, we are due for Starlink. Okay? So we're going to get Starlink out there. And yay! It's going to be great. It's going to be really, really cool.
When? I mean, when?
I know this month sometime. I don't know. I can't tell you. Because they can't tell me.
Oh. Did they send you the little thing yet? The satellite thingy?
No, that's the problem. The satellite dish is the holdup. I have the coverage. Okay. I've got 99.7% uptime out in the desert.
Right.
Okay. So at most, every now and then throughout the day, I'll be down for like 2 minutes.
Gotcha.
And then the next satellite will come in. But it's only going to happen like 4 times in a whole 24-hour period.
Right.
So I can handle that. Because the telescope doesn't know any different, and Sometimes if we lose internet, we come back and there's the telescope still doing its thing. So if I'm in the middle of an exposure, it's still going, man. And that's great.
Sweet.
All right. Yeah. So let's go now. I want to check out this right here. This is something I looked at yesterday. And when I looked at it, one of the things I found was that it really looked beautiful with reduced gain, so it wasn't blown out. What's funny is we talk about that. It's funny how we actually talk about that with this telescope. We talk about the fact that the telescope is so sensitive and the sky is so beautiful that we end up having to literally reduce the amount of exposures we take, reduce the amount of time we take. But I'm not going to be doing that.
Yeah, you hear that, people?
Tonight.
We take such good photos that we have to ugly them up. Remember that when you download.
Well, hey, I didn't say that. No. I was actually suggesting that maybe what we're talking about is that the telescope, I have it at 275 gain right now, and it was at 350 yesterday. 275 is going to be a little less noisy, but we're going to still see the same amount of detail because the telescope guides very well, and we'll be able to see all the things we want to see in pretty much the same amount of time. Right now, I'm just going to go into the telescope computer right here for a second, and I'm going to go check out, go down, okay, all right, to this next one here, and I'm going to set this rate to 0.5. There we go. And then I'm going to go down again, all right, and set the rate. The RA is the right ascension. That's the east-west motion. And we divide the sky into three, instead of 360 degrees, we're dividing it into 24 hours of time. Okay. Now, let's see. So now the declination rate is the up and down in degrees. That's in degrees. Plus 90 is the North Pole. Minus 90 is straight down into the base of the telescope. Okay, it's not looking straight down to the ground, but straight down into the base of the telescope. All right, so 0 is the celestial equator. That's the Earth's equator extended out into space. So we're aligning the telescope with the Earth. That's what we do, and that's how this works.
Pay attention, people. This will be on the test at the end.
Okay. Thank you.
No test? No test tonight?
No, nobody wants a test. In case you're wondering what we're looking at, this is the Horsehead Nebula. And for those that understand astrophotography and things like the Horsehead Nebula, we're looking at the Horsehead Nebula, and this is the Horsehead right here, okay? And this is the Flame Nebula. This is Alnitak. It's the leftmost star in Orion's belt. And Alnitak is beautiful and it's bright, but to see the Horsehead has always been impossible to get by most people in most places because it's not dark enough. If you're in the city, you can use special filters to get it. We're in the desert, and we have a special filter on top of that, so we actually see detail within the Horsehead that's really outstanding.
Superb.
Flying around here. Yeah. Nah. So, all right. Now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna come in here. This is our camera control section over there. Okay. And this right here is the telescope in the building, and farther up is our telescope control system over there. You see north, south, east, west, and we can also get into the computer, and we can also affect the coordinates. So the telescope is pointing at this location in the sky. That's 5 hours, 41 minutes, 23 seconds. That's 360 degrees, okay, divided by 24 hours, okay? That's what we're looking at. And then the declination is -2. We're 2 degrees below the equator of the Earth extended out into the space. Now, why is it on an angle? It's because the Earth is tilted on its axis. So that equator is like this, not like this. So it's on an angle, so it's extended out into space, and that's where we're looking when we're talking about the celestial equator. And right now we're at -2 degrees, as you can see right here. Okay. Neat. Okay. Michael Klages says, I have to manually drift align my telescope because I can't see Polaris from my back porch. Drift aligning is a way to line your telescope up with the North Star. One of the axes in the telescope, the one that goes east to west, that where it spins, that, perpendicular to that, looking back, has to go right to the North Pole, right to the North Star, actually to the celestial north, which is not quite the North Star. And so you basically are moving the telescope around that polar axis, it's called, okay? And that movement this way, that's the right ascension, okay, in hours. And so as the Earth rotates, that changes over time. The telescope will just continue to drift more and more toward the west and rotate around the axis, because the Earth's spinning by the North Celestial Pole, around the North Celestial Pole. And then declination is up and down, so within that it can just do all that spinny stuff, because why not?
All that spinny stuff.
Yeah.
And
that's what works very well. Yeah. All right, so now let's take a shot of this. I'm waiting for it to get dark enough. It's actually 7:50 out there in the building. And right now we'll go, it's 1,000 milliseconds. So a 1 second exposure shows us the this nebula. That's kind of unheard of. So I think that because our telescope, I have a special set of lenses on this telescope that helps it run 25 times faster than the telescope did before I put these on. And so a 1 second exposure shows all this detail without any problem. So let's do a 25 second exposure and see what we get. All right. But first, what we're going to do is actually, put it in. So I'm going to come in here and say 25 seconds. All right. This would be the 25. It said, I want to do 25 seconds. No, there's a bomb in there.
What is wrong with you?
Remember Arnold? It's Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
Everybody down. Oh, look at that. How did you do that?
We lost the
okay.
Horsehead.
Oh, yeah, there's the moon I took earlier, by the way.
Hey, just copyright infringement. That's it.
Out of deference to P&K.
Filing it now.
Out of deference to P&K. Oh, it's up on the server already. Out of deference to P&K, I took this image of the moon earlier. I actually took several, and you'll see it. It's up there. You'll have it.
Paul, go ahead and call our lawyers. Marc's overstepping the boundaries.
Once again.
How dare he show the moon?
So we're gonna clear this and exactly. Hey there, Fantasy.
I'm trying to time how much your delay is, and I can't do it because there's not the same thing on the Skype screen as there is on the YouTube screen. So I'm kind of trying to follow your mouse.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Just like that. So we got so we're looking at about.
Now you'll notice there's a little glow here. This it looks kind of light. That's because of that moon I just showed you. The moon is just setting, so as the moon, well, it's not quite setting yet. But as the moon sets, these images become better and better. But I can actually make this look really pretty very quickly with just a little bit of gentle coercion like that.
Right.
Okay, and then I can correct for the slight tint that the moon imparts to the sky by doing that. And so now, with color
that's actually really pretty.
And isn't it beautiful? Yeah, cheater. Yeah, it's really pretty.
I was trying to make a funny, and all of a sudden it got on screen, and I was like, whoa.
Well, hey, and not bad for a 25-second exposure. And look right here, there's a satellite zipping through. And what's funny is the Horsehead, this is Alnitak, like I said, this is the leftmost star in Orion's belt of 3. So further up that way, up here, right out of shot up here is Alnilam, which is the middle star, and then Mintaka is farther out.
I got to get that star book you held up earlier. I have got to find out where some of these names came from. Did you say Amalama? Did you say Amalama?
I said Alnilam. We have Alnitak, Alnilam, and Mintaka.
It just sounded like Amalama.
Alnitak, Amalama, and my Tonka.
Amalama. You're a llama.
Yes.
Giggity giggity goo.
Amalama, giggity giggity, Amalama, and my Tonka truck. Yes.
Wrecked him. Damn near killed him.
Oh, yeah.
That's two words.
Genghis, this is the Horsehead Nebula.
Yeah. Looks good too, man.
Very good. Fantasy, what's going on? And I want to say hi to Vera Lucia Campos from Brazil.
Dude, did I tell you how disappointed I was? I photoshopped an actual horse head in the Horsehead Nebula, like an actual horse head. And I put it on my page and nobody called it out. I said, check out the Horsehead Nebula. And it was an actual horse, and nobody saw it.
They probably saw it, but you know what they said? They said, oh, man, just ignore. Maybe he'll go away.
No. That's how much people don't pay attention.
Well, maybe you got the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I did was I actually joined a lot of astronomy groups on Facebook, and there's a lot of them. And I've been publishing that I'm going to be doing these streams. But some of these astronomy Facebook groups don't allow you to put up an astronomy post. I'm getting automatically declined on many of these Facebook sites. I'm like, what?
Really?
So I'm writing them and saying, yeah. So I'm writing the admin saying, guys, I'm doing something that's all about astronomy. I'm an astronomer, and I've got a set of observatories. I don't get paid for this.
Is it just that they don't let you post links, or is it?
It could be, but see, they can make exceptions. So I just want them to make exceptions because some of these groups have 185K members.
Right.
And I'd like to be able to reach them, and I'm sure some of them want to be reached to see this because, where do you see something like this in 25 seconds?
Right.
Yeah,
some people are really picky.
Yeah, down here you see this green bar over there on the right. Okay, right here. That green bar is the time that the exposure is taking right now that you see happening up there. And we're stacking. So what we're doing is we're taking an image for 25 seconds. Then we're taking another one, but aligning it once it gets taken, and then stacking it on top of the previous, and just doing that, making a sandwich of images to make the data that we want very, very high mountains in the result. And the stuff we don't want to see, like the noise in between and the blackness here, that stuff will get averaged out. If it's data, it'll come to the surface effectively.
Think of it as visual noise cancellation for how your ears have noise cancellation. Same difference.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to believe, but speaking of sound, if you were to take a very, very loud, obnoxious sound, and it was so loud you couldn't hear it. Exactly. Like, hey, you wouldn't hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Yeah, exactly.
From Dumb and Dumber.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Unfortunately, I can do that sound very well, but I will not hear.
If you do, don't let me know so I can take my headphones off real quick.
Yeah, and then let you know so you can leave the stream. So what we're doing right now, we're not goofing off. We're stacking. We're actually image stacking. Right now, we've got, as you can see right over there. Well, let me see. I don't know if you can see it, but right there, see, 12 stacked images so far, and we're still stacking. And that green bar gets to the end, aligns and stacks, aligns and stacks. And as you notice, the image is getting better and better as time goes on, and it's just stunning. Look at this detail in this cloud right here. You can see how this detail's tapering off, and inside here this used to be just a bluish cloud, but I've been able to find so much more detail in here, and I'll show you what I mean when I zoom in. Check this out. What happened? Oh, histogram. I didn't want that. I want the live stack. All right, it hasn't gone. It's still there. Let me just get rid of this. Stack is still there. Okay. All right, so let's bring back the stack.
Do it.
There we go. Okay, so now what happens is when you look at that blue cloud, for instance, let's go into, say, 100% right now. It'll be in the view up here. So right there, okay, if you notice, that cloud, besides the fact that everything is nicely focused now, this cloud, look at this little stalk in here with this beautiful little area right there. This is an area of dense dark dust, and this star's light is probably hitting it, and the starlight is not inconsequential. It's going to hit it with force. Now that force is called stellar wind. The sun has solar winds, right? Well, the stellar winds from the stars tend to push away gas and dust because they're very powerful. We thought of solar sail technology. A large, expansive solar sail could be pushed by starlight to several percentages of the speed of light. And so that's pretty cool. Now, but this stalk right here is feeling this starlight too. And what's happening is, you notice behind it, it's intact, but around it, it's been cleared. This area right here is probably really dense. And that density is preventing this star from evaporating the material here. And that's something that I think is really kind of important. So this stuff here is really dense. And so the starlight hits it, and what's behind it is kind of in the back side. It's like you standing behind a concrete pillar in a sandstorm, okay? As the wind goes by you, most of that sand is going to be brought past you before it comes back together, all right? And that's what's happening here. So at least I think that's what's happening in this particular location. But we see evidence of these pillars everywhere. Think about the pillars of creation. The pillars of creation are an example of exactly that. You know, hot young stars evaporating material away. So that's pretty cool, you know. And so this nebula here is called a reflection nebula because the dust inside, this is all dust you're seeing here. All this dark stuff is dust. It's not a void in the stars. This is actually dark dust, all right, mixed with hydrogen gas. If the hydrogen gas is near enough to a very bright star, like in this case here, okay, and in this case this star here is causing the hydrogen gas here to glow, all right, through a process called ionization and recombination. Don't worry about that. Just understand that the hydrogen atoms are glowing from this star here. This nebula here is glowing from Alnitok here. And their very, very hot ultraviolet radiation is causing the hydrogen atoms to glow. These stars are in a dust cloud where there's not a whole lot of hydrogen gas, perhaps, because we don't see any red in here. It's probably in there, but it's being dominated by the blue. Why the blue? Because this blue is actually what we call a reflection nebula, but it really is the dust particles in the nebula are scattering the blue component of the starlight. When you look at a star, you know how when you're a kid you have a little prism, you break up the light and you see red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple light, right? The blue and violet light. Okay, well, all stars have that kind of light, all right? Whether they look red or whether they look blue, but they have it in different proportions. Well, these stars are probably white stars that we're seeing here, and they're sending out radiation, ultraviolet radiation in part, just like our sun does. And the dust is absorbing the ultraviolet radiation particularly, and then sending it out in all directions. And so we see when it's close enough to the star, scattering takes place. We see this blue light, this blue reflection. We see that around many stars, like up here and like here and like here, okay? And in many places. Now, what's interesting about that is that blue is blue, but you notice it looks like the sky blue? Well, that's the same thing that's happening in our sky. The atoms and molecules in our atmosphere are scattering the high-frequency light, which is the blue light. And so everywhere you look, it's blue sky. If they didn't do that, our sky would be black with a sun in it, but we'd have atmosphere. Isn't that odd? That's kind of weird. But weird. In space, it's the same kind of thing, just from a different point of view. So that's us scattering in action.
Scattering stars in space fire.
Exactly.
Yep.
Scattering starlight. Scattering starlight. It's what we do. You know?
Yeah. Little twinkles of reflection.
Yep. Yeah.
It's amazing how sensitive, like,
the song
to pick this stuff up.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So that's cool. So we've stacked 13 images, as you can see right down here. We stacked 13. We'll go to 15, and then we'll get off the Horsehead Nebula. And again, we're going at a lower gain. We've been going at 350 normally. Now I'm going at 275. So that means that we're actually going to be getting less noise in our images, and the images will be better looking, all right, and without much loss of data.
Dare we say sexy?
And
sexy space images.
It's stunning. It's really beautiful. All this little nuance. Vera asks a question: is the reflection nebula in back of the Horsehead, or the contrary? You know, Vera, I would have to say that depending on where on this cloud the Horsehead is coming out, because it goes kind of like this. It dives down. You can actually see how it sort of curves around. It goes down. You can almost see that in 3 dimensions here. And the Horsehead is sticking out on part of it. And that might be just above this nebula or just below it, but we can see a lot of this blue reflection nebula. And it's, let me zoom in on it again just to show you, because that's a really, really good question, Vera. Very, very good question. So let's zoom in again. Okay. So now, all right, here we have the Horsehead Nebula, and you can see that blue reflection nebula right there. Okay. It's hard to tell the distance of the Horsehead versus the distance to that particular star. I don't know those numbers. Actually, those numbers may be available to us if we consult a database called NED or SIMBAD. It's a professional database that I will often consult to try and find answers like you asked. So I'm going to guess that they're roughly the same distance. Why? Because this is pretty much, this is immersed in the nebula. You can see some of the nebula is sticking out. You can see more these stalks sticking out and going this way. But so that star is probably further in, but this part of the nebula is probably at the same level as the Horsehead, perhaps. They could be wildly separated, wildly different, and I would not know that until I actually consulted the databases. And JSCO 77 says, can we zoom in on the Horsehead at some point? Oh, why? Absolutely sure we can. In fact, I'd like to actually enhance the view for you guys right now. I'm going to take this now. I'm going to go into our live stack information here. And I did this yesterday, but if you notice, let's go to the drift graph first. Let's take a look. Okay, this is the telescope is actually pretty accurate tonight. You can see that wavy line. Okay, it ideally should be on that white line, but you can see that the telescope's correcting for a slight error that's 2 pixels off. Now, last night we were 5 pixels off, and it was still stacking well. Right now, it's less than it's about 2 at the most, just over. So that's pretty good, darn good tonight. So we stand a chance of getting some really, really good stuff right now. But let's go, as I said, let's go to this enhancement tab right here. And in the enhancement tab, I'm going to sharpen this. Ready? So when I click this, watch the Horsehead. This right here. Watch this. Ready? Here we go. Okay, watch now. Okay, now look. Do you see the difference? Look at that.
Would you look at it?
Suddenly got very sharp. Well, just see that, Mary? Oh, look at it. It's beautiful.
Not as sharp as the one I just sent you in the chat.
Well, you probably sent me the one from Hubble Space Telescope.
No, not at all.
How do I show that? I gotta get that in.
I think you gotta download it and add it as a.
I'm gonna save it to the downloads and just check it out. Yeah. Let's find out if I can do that.
I told you, nobody noticed.
I mean, that's pretty good because you actually. I'm gonna show you what he's showing you. What he's showing me, guys. Just a sec, because this is actually pretty funny. It's funny. It actually could have passed for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here is what he's talking. We're still stacking here, so we're okay. All right, not a problem. Nothing is going wrong.
We're just waiting for the stack.
We're just letting the stack come in. That's right. But let me take you now to the mind of someone who goes on more benders than Bender from Futurama.
Oh, I wish that'd be a good excuse anyway. Yeah.
This is Keith's photo of the Horsehead that he took. Isn't that beautiful?
Nobody noticed.
No one noticed.
Nobody noticed.
Sad. There's the Horsehead Nebula. That's a really good job too. That's really nice.
Posted as like Horsehead Nebula. Nobody even noticed.
Yeah.
I gotta stay
the
away
rest
from
is a real
Photoshop.
picture. The rest of this is a real picture. That's all I'm talking.
Yeah.
But you see these two little guys right here? See those two little guys right there and right there? Okay. That's funny. Okay, but let's take a look at those in real life, okay? Because what we're looking at is when we come in here. That was really good, Keith. Here it is. Here are those two little guys. One here and one here. Right. That's funny. Now, that picture Keith had was actually really, really exaggerated in contrast and so forth. So we're going for a more subtle look. But these are raw. This is raw. This is the raw
had to blend
stuff.
the horse.
I can see that. It was really well done. Well done, Horsehead Nebula, especially for tonight.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me check our drift graph now and see if we're still on track the same way we were. It looks like we are. Oh, yeah, we're doing okay. Yeah, we're actually very nice. We're doing very nice.
Yep.
Now, the telescope has what's called periodic error. So what you're going to see is that line is going to do this. It's going to do a snaky sine curve over time, where it goes off one way, then off another way. That's periodic error, periodic error of the drive. And since I got out there and fixed the focus issues, as you can see with the telescope, I had to reset everything, and I did not do periodic error correction. That's on purpose, because I really wanted to see if the guiding system I installed can handle the errors, the worst cases, and as you can see, it does. So if I was trained to do that periodic error correction, it'll be even better, but it would almost be imperceptible to you guys, but to me, I might notice, you know. And Bonnie, Anahata 77, how are you? Nice to see you here. Calabash, how are you? Very nice to see you. And if anyone else is here from one of the astronomy groups, let me know, because I'd like to know if anyone is catching me from there. Taryn Marie, how are you? Nice to see you. No one goes anonymous here. I will say hello to everybody. The only time I don't say hello to everybody is if we're up in the thousands of viewers and concurrent viewers, and we are with lunar eclipses. Kelly's tired as hell. Like you have record numbers at your streams, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what we do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what do you pick an
We have
object?
become a leading name in moon imagery and shenanigans.
I think you do, and for a good reason. You have the best views of the moon, far better than anything we do. This is what we do well. Okay, you do the moon very well and the planets.
Yep.
And Bill New York Skywatcher does meteor showers when he does them. I haven't had a shower with him in a meteor shower in a long time.
It was what December.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, that was a long time.
Yeah, one or two in. He's been doing it mostly off of YouTube though, because it's just ridiculous on YouTube lately.
Really?
Yeah, so he'll do them on other sites, like Twitch or
Okay.
Trovo or one of those.
Oh, okay.
I see our Russian friends are with us.
Yeah.
Those Russian bots are getting annoying.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Thank you, Vera, for getting rid of that. Thank you very much.
And
Bonnie, how you doing, by the way?
We'll just do another little thing like that on top of what Bonnie did. There we go.
What's that?
Just get rid of them all together.
Okay.
Spam account.
Yep.
Dum, 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 dum. Oh, we had somebody else say hello. Oh, hi, Marc.
Oh, hi, Keith.
Oh, hi, Marc.
Where is it? Come on.
I closed it so I can look up and get my my Horsehead super picture to you. Great, hold on. I'll find it. I'm getting there. Hold on.
No worries.
I'm getting there quick. Fast. As fast as I can.
Okay.
I'll see. All right.
Okay.
Let's time it. Ready? And...
Oh, hi, Marc.
There we go. Got it.
Okay.
That's still my favorite drop of all time.
Nice.
It just fit way
Pretty
too well
cool.
when you came on the stream.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Marc.
All right.
It does. It looks like a fire tree.
Oh, yes, that's true. That's why it's called the Flame Nebula.
The Flame Nebula. Like when we're like looking at images that you're taking, like how awesome would it be to have like Morgan Freeman like narrating?
Oh, I know, huh? I want to just mention this. Calabash says, Mark, I posted a picture of myself and the Falcon 9 rocket. For those that don't know, that's the actual Falcon 9 that completed the first successful landing in 2015. Calabash, that's fantastic. Where'd you post the picture? Is it on your Facebook? I don't know where your Facebook is or wherever you posted it. Let me know. We'll check it out. Hi, Roni. Roni Hassan is with us.
Roni Hassan.
And Rockstar says, are we sure they're Russian? And what's the point of those Russian bots? What are they trying to do anyway?
I don't know, but on every live chat on YouTube, they I don't know why or the purpose of it. I have no idea.
It just doesn't make any sense. I mean,
yeah.
To what end? To what end, right?
Yeah. Like there's no end goal. There's not a link or anything. It's just random letters.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not even a link. It's just like is it to drive up?
Hold on. I'm copying and pasting.
Trending and stuff?
Into I'm copying and pasting what they said into Translate. Okay, here we go. This is whatever that guy typed. This is what it was.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, cool. I get it now. Sorry, I'll unban you. I'll unban you.
How did I know? How did I know?
Anybody watching the Olympics?
Apparently not. Whoever's here. Is
yeah, right. Don't all say it at once. How many
okay,
frames
thanks,
do we have
Calabash. I'll check it out.
18? 18 stacked.
Yeah. Just to give you an idea, I'll show you the left screen right now. This is the current weather out west. This is the observatory out in the middle of the Arizona desert. And as you notice, the clouds are in motion, and there's not a single cloud in all of Arizona right now. Actually, not a single cloud in Utah, Nevada, or Southern California.
You know what, guys? See how Phoenix to Flagstaff? See how close that seems? Marianne sent me that way on the way home to get up to Route 40. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty close. That'll be a nice fast way. That is 200 miles.
That's 2.5 hours.
I'm like, I thought this was like a 20-mile trip going up through here. It's like, oh, my Lord, I'm on this for 4 hours.
Well, for people that don't know, the reason Keith was doing that was because he was actually delivering the telescope that's imaging what you see tonight. He was delivering that telescope to the observatory.
Yeah, well, not to the observatory, to Marianne. For you to take
to the staging. Yeah, that observatory is on protected property, so I can't bring anybody out there. Maybe at some point in the future, but not now.
Right.
And I live by the rules because I've been granted access, and I do not cause problems with it.
Mark walks out there in the middle of the desert. They see him coming from a mile away, and you see just people come out of their houses, and they're all waving with jubilant excitement, and all of a sudden, all you
shotguns.
Yep.
Waving with jubilant shotguns. Yeah.
I'd like to welcome our new astronomer.
Right. Hey, here he goes. That boy ain't right. That boy ain't right. Remember that? Yeah,
what?
This is gorgeous. This is this is turning out. You know what the show is?
Yeah.
King of the Hill.
You ever seen that cowboy guy on Instagram? Like he'll watch stupid videos of people doing stuff, and it'll just come back, and the camera will be on him, and it'll just be staring into the camera for like 5 seconds. All of a sudden, he'll just go, "What?" I find the dumbest stuff funny.
Some people get fame for stupid reasons.
Yep.
And look who's here. Izabela Melamed from Sofia, Bulgaria. Hi, Izabela.
Izabela.
My brain is sleeping. Well, Izabela, who just wrote in the chat there, she is longtime friend, been on the stream with us, and she's a wonderful artist, and I'd love to send work her way. So if anyone has anything they need artistically, Izabela Melamed is the one to talk to. And also, she is a moderator here, so she can put a link into her to Izabela's website if you want to see what she's done. She's also a wonderful image processor. I taught her a few things about image processing as well, so she could improve that. And she's taken to it like fish in water. She can just do a great job. So it's cool to watch. Okay, we've done 38 stacked frames, and I would say that after this last one, we're going to pause and say we're done.
We're done.
We've got a beautiful set here, and then we'll go to the next one here. Up for bids and the price is right. Okay, so there we go. And now what I do is, after pausing this now, I hit save, and you watch across the top a green line, and that's our astronomical fits file. That's the stack, the raw stack. And if you have a fits file viewer, then you can actually view it, but you don't need to go through all that trouble if you don't want to. What you can do is get this other file that I'm also saving each and every time, and that's the PNG file. That is the file exactly as you see it here. So you can have fun and enjoy it. Oh, Calabash. Yes, I remember that. Yeah. Okay, so he writes, I don't know if you remember, and I do now, but I did say once I got into SpaceX, I wish to donate equipment to your cause. Well, I'm in and getting the big bucks. Fantastic, man. Give me a few months to get out of debt. No worries, brother. No, I appreciate it. You're always welcome here. Whether you donate or not, you're always welcome here. But I'm really happy for you that you got in. Fantastic.
Congratulations.
Okay. What are you doing to SpaceX? Yeah, congratulations. What are you doing, Calabash? Let me know. All right. So now, let's see. We're paused here, and what I'm going to do now, we've saved everything. So I'm going to clear this, and you can say, oh, no, where's it going? Well, you saw me save it. So where it went is, as we speak, it's being shipped out of the desert, going up to our live server, and being placed on our live server so that you can see it. It'll be there in a few minutes if it's not already there. And you'll be able to get at the pictures and download them for free. It doesn't cost you a dime. And the link to that is in the description of this stream. And it's also something that Izabela, when she comes back, she'll probably put the link in. Or Keith might do it right there. Okay, thank you.
I'm on top of it, boss.
Yeah, I'm not your boss, man. We're brothers in this. So,
brothers in arms.
As we go, brothers in telescopes, yeah. So as you know, Keith's partner with P&K SpaceImaging is Paul down in Miami, and I would like to know how Paul's doing.
He's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's down there working on his Corvettes, and running the mall as always.
Yeah. Now imagine
we had talked about doing a solar stream this weekend. We'll see.
Yeah.
Hello, Tyron.
Well, I have a solar telescope here, a small one, and I'm trying to figure out how to adapt it. And if I can adapt it to this telescope that's behind me, which you can't see yet, but I'll show. I don't know if you can be able to see it back there, but I'll give it a shot. So if I show you the background, maybe you can see that back there. I don't know if you can. Just barely. That's the SkyTour East telescope over there. We're rehabbing the SkyTour East Observatory. And we're doing that because of the fact that we actually had a dome, and we outgrew the dome. So you have to build a big building now and put that in and everything.
Yeah, Izabela, we're having an astronomy party. You were invited. Get to class on time.
Yes, Izabela's okay.
Yeah,
Calabash,
awesome.
That's cool. NDAs are fine. I've done a lot of Navy work. I still do, and so I'm in the same place with things I can never talk about. But working on Starlink,
yeah.
that's great. I got Starlink. I asked for Starlink out in the desert at our site, and I'm told it's going to be February. But I think the holdup was the satellite dishes. But you don't have to talk to that at all. No talking shop here.
Nope.
But
I had to sign an NDA
well
recently
done,
too. That's cool. They're weird.
Yeah.
You get the easy 4-page one, or did you get the 20-page? The 20-page
NDA,
in-depth.
yeah, I see. Well, I don't get NDAs. I get threats of jail time if I say things. It's actually.
Hey, listen, I make you sign that just in case we're working on something good for P&K. All right. Now I just threaten you with the jail time. I probably won't use it, but just in case I want to, it's there.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about doing work for the DoD. When I do that, I mean, there's
less
done some
important
projects
people.
that.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, there's other people. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in any case, I've signed NDAs too for productions and stuff. As you know, I do an awful lot of television stuff, and you're doing NDAs and all that stuff, and it's really hard not to talk about the things that really are so cool that you can't talk about. Until it's aired and stuff like that, and that's across networks too. So when I do something for A&E, which I'm doing now, I can't talk about it till it airs, and that's like, I want to show people, I want to tell people, but I follow the rules. I got to show you something, by the way. There's the Horsehead now. We've zoomed way in, and let's. Hey, Tim F. I want to show you something here. That glow that red glow we saw behind the Horsehead earlier. I want to show you where that's coming from. Okay, that's actually coming from this star here that I'm going to show you. Okay, there it is. Coming in from the right. That's a really interesting star system. That's Sigma Orionis. And that star is exceedingly bright, and it's actually a star that's got multiple components to it. Right? Possibly up to 4 to 6 components. And they're all gravitationally bound, and they all move around each other. Eventually, they're gonna one or two or 4 or 3 will get ejected from that system and end up going on their own somewhere else. But this star is the one that has the hot ultraviolet radiation that is causing the illumination of that cloud.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds like a duck. Right. Okay, now we got 1 second here. Exposure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up our focus system here and check the temperature, because I have temperature calibrated focusing, and I've got it on 54 degrees, and I can see that we're just slightly out of focus. So I'm going to turn it off, and I have it set so it knows what to focus to. As the temperature drops, the focus changes, and it's very sensitive on these telescopes that are of a certain size. All right, so I'm going to just drop this and see if the stars get a little sharper.
Hey, did you see that James Webb is receiving photons?
Yes. I saw that it's
exciting.
Photon heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It's photon heavy, brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful.
By the way, I sent you a
Right.
message in Skype, text message.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I can't believe I didn't tell you, because I was like telling everybody. Can't go in.
And you didn't tell me?
In depth. Yeah, I thought I did. I was like, did I talk to Marc since then? But I don't think I have. It's good. It's a good
got
thing.
like an audience of lots of people out here, and now what? They don't get to hear it?
No, just like they don't get to hear about your A&E program, Mr. Vague.
Well, no, I mean it's
We'll live.
The series. The proof is out there. People know that.
Yeah. The proof is out there.
Right,
Is it? Is it?
One way or another, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
All right, so I'm trying to. Okay, let me see if I can figure this out. Here we go.
Do it. Do it.
Ah. So, what do they do?
What do who do?
That company.
Oh, really? You don't know?
I think I know, but I don't want to say.
Yeah, I'll put it in the thing.
Oh, yes, I got you. Okay, that's right. Okay, I know what it is.
The next
Cool.
iteration.
All right. Yeah, no, speaking of fun things, have you played Mass Effect Andromeda? You have, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, that's a really fun game.
Yeah.
I like the storylines because they actually take you places, and then you listen to the soundtrack. I started downloading soundtrack songs. It was really so good. I'm such a nerd.
BioWare is very good with their audio. Don't get me wrong. The first 3 Mass Effects you can't beat them, even with Andromeda.
Yeah.
Andromeda, they took it from more of a combat game to more of an exploration-based game,
and I like that.
Which is pretty awesome.
I like the exploration aspect.
Yep.
And the thing that I like, the thing I like most of all though, is in some of these games, and we're going to go to a new object right now, guys. And so, a satellite right there coming through. See it coming through? You just lost it because I got out of the way. There we go. Here comes a satellite. We're doing a 1 second exposure, so in 1 second it makes a little streak on the sensor. And so if we take a 30-second shot, you're going to see a long line here, and I get rid of those post-production. There we go. That's really cool. All right. So what I like are the games that actually have a realistic universe. For instance, Elite Dangerous.
Yep.
You're going to real stars there. Now, they actually add planets that we don't know are there and all that, but it's really cool how they actually use a real universe.
Yeah, and there's another one too. There's you can get it on Steam.
Well, there's
it's
Eve.
a vast universe.
That's
they've been
Eve.
building it. No, it's not Eve. It's
No.
It came out originally in 2014, and they just kept building it, and now it has its own servers and everything, and it's just
Star Citizen.
Yeah. Star Citizen's one of them. And there's
Okay,
another
because
one.
I have Star Citizen as well. I don't know when to quit with these things.
Yeah,
we're gonna go to the
Izabela.
Rosette Nebula now.
That's right, Izabela. You were joining me for the Mass Effect stream. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello there, Arturo Gonzalez. How are you? That was if you're talking about the dash you saw on the screen, that was a satellite coming through. And we're taking, if I come over here to the right and show you up here on the right up there, all right, see over here on the right-hand side, see the exposure time? It's 1,000 milliseconds. That's 1 second. So we're taking a 1 second exposure. And this 1 second exposure, in that time, a satellite moving through could make a very long line or a very short line, depending on how high it is, what its altitude is. That one was pretty high up, making a short little line. Some make gigantic lines all the way through the field of view.
That's it.
And this is the telescope. This is the telescope right there moving. Okay, and this
Genghis
is the
got it,
object
by the
we're
way.
after right here. You did?
Yeah, Genghis got it. No Man's Sky. That's the name of it.
Oh, I got No Man's Sky. Of course I do.
I kind of figured you
And
would.
No Man's Sky is really good. Yeah, No Man's Sky is not as realistic, but it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah. It's a
Because
little.
I like the universe.
If you're going for graphics, not so much. But if you're going for gameplay and exploration and stuff, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Shipper.
Okay, now this is Michael Klagus is saying, can we do M81 and M82? Given time, we might be able to see that tonight, Michael. And when we can, we'll go to it and check it out. I know you asked for it yesterday, but then we had to shut down because we lost the internet, if you recall. Okay, this is the Rosette Nebula. This is a beautiful open cluster that has formed in this location. This is called a stellar nursery. This is obviously where stars are born. And this stellar nursery is pretty big. And it's actually quite a distance from us. And I just want to show you. Let me just see if I can get that data. This planetarium program here is not always correct. This says it's about 5,200 light years. It's, from what I heard, of more like 6,000. All right. Well, the Orion Nebula, which is about that size, okay, is 1,500 light years from us. So if the Orion Nebula was here, it would actually be just a small little object in here, as seen from here. If it was that same distance. And the reason we can see the Orion Nebula with our eyes and not this one is because the Orion Nebula is that close. In fact, all of Orion is that close to us because we're in what's called the Orion spur of our galaxy. And that puts us close to Orion in general.
Yep.
No problem, Arturo. I'm glad you asked. Hey there on the rise. How you going? How you doing? Yeah, No Man's Sky, it's big already, but it's really cool. All right,
it's massive.
I'm going to start taking an exposure here. If you haven't seen this object taken by our telescope, tonight is going to be a good night because this is just so beautiful tonight. So we're going to take we're going to go 30 seconds on this. And we're going to, this mode, by the way, this is a hybrid mode. It allows us to add image intensifying in a sense. And so that's what we're doing. So this is what it would really look like without it. Right. And then with it, okay, we can actually see a lot more detail. But we're going to go into the stack now. We're going to create a stack of this and stack and align a bunch of images. And we're going to get rid of this one first. That's the old Horsehead and Flame Nebula we just took. And that's going to go. And now that's going to clear. And next you're going to see the Rosette. And oh, what a Rosette it is. Look at that. Wow. That's just stunning.
Oh, and what a rose and pleasant slave am I.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Yeah. Look at that. So there it is, and notice these areas right here. This is what strikes me about the Rosette Nebula. Okay. This is again a stellar nursery. This is the cluster that's powering it, okay? And this cluster is actually creating a cavity in here. You see how this is a cavity inside the cluster, inside this nebula. There's a cavity created by these stars. They're pushing out this gas and dust, and they make a hole inside. And that's because they're young, hot stars. And it's a young cluster. They're a few million years old. It's not billions of years old. These are just a few million years old. And what they do is their ultraviolet energy is so powerful that it actually is causing the hydrogen gas all around here, that you see all around here, to glow. And that is the process we talked about before. We call these H2 regions or ionized hydrogen regions, H alpha regions, hydrogen alpha regions. They're all named for the same thing. H2 is H and then Roman numeral 2I, HII, right? H2. And the reason it's called that is because that means singly ionized hydrogen. All atoms, before they get any energy into them, if they're just sitting there by themselves, they have all their electrons and their protons, they're at level 1. Okay, so they're like calcium 1, calcium with an I, is a calcium atom that has all of its electrons. Ionize it one time and it's calcium II, calcium 2. Okay, so now that's singly ionized calcium. Yes, 2 means 1 in this case. It's really kind of strange. But this nebula here, okay, this is all H2. This is all the H2 region. This is the ionized hydrogen region. And what's really cool is it's so clear tonight. It's so beautiful. This is probably a better view of the Rosette than we've ever had. It's just stunning. And I'm glad you guys are with us on this. Glad you're here.
Beautiful.
Let's actually let's zoom in. Let's go to 75%. When I say 75%, I'll explain that in a minute. But as we get in close, look at all this detail in here. Look at that. All right. And then over here on the left, all right, keep in mind where those hot stars are. See them over there? Remember that stalk that we saw in the Orion Horsehead Nebula? Inside that blue nebula? Well, look at this. There's a stalk right here. Okay? And there's another one right here.
Looks like a filament.
And they are. They kind of are like filaments. Okay? And And so that's what's happening. These hot stars are stripping the gas and dust away from areas and pushing this stuff away. But where there's densities, like right here, where you see this density right there, okay, that dense area right up in that little area, that little tiny bit, is shielding what's behind it from the heat of these stars and from the ultraviolet energy coming down trying to strip that gas away. And so it makes lots of stalks. We see that with other nebulae as well. But this dark nebula in here, this really beautiful dark dust, this is the stuff from which planets and stars form. Okay, the hydrogen gas is mixed in with it, and if enough hydrogen coalesces into a gravitational concentration, then we find that we're going to see a star wink on in one of these areas. And that's happened before. We see them in the process in the Orion Nebula itself. Stars are winking on. And we see them. They're young hot stars. And the namesake for those hot stars is a star in Taurus called capital T Tauri. Tauri for Taurus. And the T Tauri stars are these young hot stars. And they're variable. They pulsate quite a bit. Their brightness changes because they're young and they're just getting their space legs, so to speak. And so as they move into their lives of fusing hydrogen into helium initially, they're rather tumultuous, and they have varying degrees of variability. Okay, and so in these dark nebulae, we know that there's more of those types of stars forming, and when they stabilize and start to blow away lots of the dust and gas, then they make a hole where they are, and you can see that in a lot of places in the universe. Oh, thanks, Calabash. That's very kind. Taryn asking, Taryn Marie, what level are we? What does that mean? I must have missed something. I might have missed.
We're level. We're clearance level 7.
Oh, no. No, Frank. Frank! Oh, hey, come on! What are you doing? Okay, so if we zoom in now, just a little bit, you can see even better. Now, we've stacked 24 images so far. You can almost see three-dimensionality in these clouds, but it's only simulated. You don't really know. I mean, this looks like it's deeper than this. It may be, or this might be out in front of it, but I tend to think this is in front of that. It's hard to tell. But this is a gigantic hole. And remember, this is in 3D. It's a 3D object that has a hole in the middle. And it's really cool, like a space donut, right? Except it's not. Yeah, it's probably not shaped like a donut.
It looks like a biscuit.
Oh, yes, I'm sure it does.
A biscuit.
How about a biscuit?
Yep.
Yes.
A flaky biscuit.
Hey, baba hibba wabba hibba wabba. Remember that? Bao baba haba hibba wabba. Okay, those Blues Brothers. So yeah, if you look, we got these beautiful tendrils of dark nebula here. Biscuit. But there's something else that you got to see. There's something else you got to see, and it's up here. Let me just zoom in again here. This is something that I point out when we come to the Rosette Nebula, because it's an amazing feature. Okay, you see these little tadpole-shaped things? Okay, see those little tadpole-shaped things? Okay, right there and right there. There's more elsewhere. These are called proplyds. These are protoplanetary systems, and there might be stars and planets forming in there. These are every bit of nearly a light year across each. So there's plenty of and this again is 5,000 to 6,000 light years away. So this is every bit of a light year across, and they're also known as Bok globules. There's a Bok globule right there. Okay, Bart J. Bok was an astronomer who researched these globules and found that these globules were the place where condensing material was gravitationally bound, and began to collect and could later form stars and possibly planets within this dark nebula. And when I was getting my degree in astronomy, Bart Bach was actually one of my professors for one of my classes. And I learned an awful lot from him. And he's what you expect from an astronomer. You know, he's long since gone by now. But, you know, dedicated to the science and not much else, you know. So it was pretty cool. You know, here's another there's another Bach globule here, another one there. We find them everywhere. Everywhere. And usually they were tied to... That's right. Yep. They used to be tied to other nebulae, other parts of the dark nebulae, but then the stars blew away a lot of the dust, except they couldn't blow away the dust where they were already condensing. Okay, because there was enough material accreting and forming a blob. So anyway, that's the Bach globule, and that's what we see here in the Rosette. We have stacked 37 images here, just in talking here, and isn't that stunning? That is just beautiful. Now let's do one thing. I'm going to go back out to the full frame. And when I say full frame, at 100% of the view, okay, let me just show you again.
Look at all them stars, man. Jesus.
I know it. And those are all relatively in the foreground, probably, you know, in this particular case.
Dude, there's aliens out there. I'm telling you.
I'm sure. I'm
telling you.
So here's 100%. What this means is that we have a whole lot more sensor off the screen at 100%. This is the natural size of this sensor.
Well, that sucks.
No, it's actually wonderful because what it shows you...
I know, I just want to see what you would say.
Oh, okay, well...
Take you off guard. Yeah, exactly. Had to take you out of auto mode.
All right.
Keep going. Go ahead.
What's Michael, Izabela, what's Michael looking for? Michael, what did I miss?
Michael is...
you should be looking in the chat, Keith, and help me figure out what
I am, and I've been paying attention, but I can't get a word in edgewise. Mr. Ramble.
Oh, well, you can just interrupt. Ramble?
No, they're talking about the Pleiades, and Michael believes that it's almost set to look at, because I believe it was... somebody wanted to ask if we were looking at the Pleiades, and I think it was Izabela, maybe? Yeah. And Michael said that the Pleiades is almost set, he thinks. That's what the comment was. We can look at the Pleiades. There you go.
I'll tell you what. How about this? Let's, we take requests here at the all request hour. And so now that we've done this, we
don't even do that. You know? Yeah, we don't even do that.
Look at that. Look at this. So here's one thing I'll do before we hang this one up. This one is has a lot more red in the middle than the this has shown. So if we can actually adjust this, you can see that we can adjust this.
Is that just a trick of the light?
We can adjust the nebula.
Like how it goes yellow to red?
Yes, it's actually, what I did was I actually increased the red channel a little bit. Okay. Because when you have a high density of H alpha, it can saturate the detector and make it look brighter than it is, and that's what we're seeing there. That was the brightest part of the nebula. So I just kind of fought it back a little bit so people can see a little bit more.
Right. Dude, how many stars are just Jesus?
I know, huh?
Like, how many you think are in that image right there? Just if you had to take a ballpark. I'm going to say 7,000 maybe?
Yeah, you'd probably be
5 to 7,000.
Maybe a little under. You would probably be more than that. Oh, yeah.
Of the visible ones that we're seeing and the dim ones? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might
be
right.
What I do is when I process this, what I do is I remove the stars and have only the nebula, and then I process the nebula separately from the stars, and I merge them together. And that's a really cool thing in of itself, because you can actually see everything with no stars. And then it looks like an abstract painting. It really looks like a cosmic tapestry that's unparalleled. All right. Okay, so I pause this. I'm now going to save this stack of 49 images. Okay? It's one of the best stacks we've done. Okay, and then I'm going to save it just like you see it.
Yep.
And you can, when you get to the server, you can go get it,
Make a poster.
Enjoy it.
Yep.
Yep.
Grab it while it's hot. Hot off the presses.
All right. Calabash, I'm sorry to have to bail. Been up since 3 a.m. and it's 8 p.m. now. Oh, yeah. 11-hour days. Yeah, that's okay, man.
We shall see you, and
Calabash,
congratulations once again.
Yeah, well done, man. And let's talk. If you want to talk about helping out with Sky Tour, we are all for it, and we'll do whatever you like. I think that's a really good thing to be part of. So anyway,
Sky Tour live stream
man.
with Marc Dantonio, sponsored by SpaceX.
Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
I'm not important, Calabash, so don't worry about it. But yeah, congratulations once again. Have a great night. Get some Z's. I know, especially working for SpaceX. Probably got some long days, man.
Yeah, well done, Calabash.
Is that a guy?
You deserve the crow about it, man.
Guy or girl?
I think it's a man.
Okay.
I think it's a male.
Sorry, I didn't mean to offend.
And if I'm wrong, well, then I'm going to get in trouble. I knew Calabash from before, though, so that's the thing. He's been talking to me before.
Well, anyway, congratulations, person. Yes.
Yeah. Weird guy says, I want Marc to publicly call anything Neil deGrasse Tyson, call it BS, just because. Well, I can't do that because he's right in a lot of things, you know. I mean, there's some things. I mean, he actually, you know, what's funny is you guys know that I'm the chief photo and video analyst for the Mutual UFO Network. And Neil deGrasse Tyson actually did send me a LinkedIn request, and we are connected in LinkedIn. Ooh. So obviously, publicly, he isn't going to admit anything, but he's being a good scientist, you know.
Wow.
I'm also trying not to. Well, no, he's not going to admit anything, but he is open-minded, but can't afford to be seen as being entrenched with folks that believe in UFOs. Not yet. Not yet. I think that his time will come. I do.
Dude, that's a hell of a LinkedIn
Okay, so
request,
I saved all this. Yeah, no, it was really good of him to send that. And I guess he's interested in following what I'm doing, I guess.
Yeah, you know what? You know what my most popular
this.
LinkedIn request was? Like, you get Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I get, like, Boner from Growing Pains.
That's cool, though.
It's just, it doesn't even compare.
No, yeah. I mean, not by that name, maybe, but yeah. Okay. So we saved this stack that's up there.
His name was Richard Stabone. Okay, well, I'm just saying. Yes. I know about my LinkedIn friend request too, Marc. Maybe it's not Neil deGrasse Tyson, but Boner's just the nicest guy.
Yep.
Just saying.
Well, I mean, you don't see me crowing about who sends me LinkedIn requests. I just roll with it. You know, these are all good people.
Right. Don't get me wrong. I never talked to Boner. He just, we connected on LinkedIn for some reason. I think he likes astronomy. Yeah.
Oh, Vera, thank you. Marc, I saw you on Netflix documentary. You're great. Oh, thank you, Vera. Which one was it? Was it the seeding? Was it aliens on the moon? I did a few. Did you see? If you have Discovery Plus, you can see me in a series. I'm one of the cast in what's the name? Alien Invasion Hudson Valley on Discovery Plus. If you got that.
By the way, I should clear up that the guy that played Boner, his actual name is Andrew Koenig. I just cleared that up. Boner was his name in the TV
show. Oh, Andy Koenig.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. I was making it sound like
you don't know.
I have no idea.
See, yeah, because he didn't send you a friend request or a LinkedIn profile.
You're one up on me.
Yeah.
Taryn Marie says, "How could you be a scientist and not believe in life elsewhere?" You know what?
Amen.
Very good point, Taryn. I'm gonna tell you.
Amen.
Well done. I'm gonna
Marc, applause right now.
She's getting it's a sitting ovation because I can't. Well, I can stand up, but it's gonna go out of shot. You deserve a standing ovation for that, Taryn. And Taryn's smiling at us right now. I'm sure. See, the thing is, I'm gonna tell you right now. When I was getting my astronomy degree, I knew there was life out there. And I felt that very strongly, and I said to the director of my observatory, who was responsible for conferring on me my degree, I said, I believe that it's a populated universe. And he said, he was a rather heavy guy, and he had suspenders. No. And he was looking over his glasses, and he goes, what do you mean, Mr. Dantonio? And I said, well, we're carbon-based beings. here we have bilateral symmetry. We're the same on either side. Okay, that's a template provided by the universe, DNA. Okay, so clearly there's something to that, and the carbon is the fourth most abundant element in the universe. So I think it's a natural template for life. You know, the Earth was seeded with carbon from comets and asteroids, and it makes its own building blocks of life left to its own. The Miller-Urey experiment in 1952 proved that, and it made amino acids that, you know, are the building blocks of life. Well, anyway, he looked at me and he said, "Uh-huh." I said, "Yeah, I'm sure that we're just one of many planets out there that has life on it." I said, "I can't say whether it's intelligent life, but I strongly suspect that if we're here, then there's other intelligent life out there." And he looked at me over his glasses. By the way, this was in the late 80s, incidentally. And he goes, "Get back in the observatory and get back on your project and leave Captain Kirk to us." He said that. And I went, "Okay, Art." And then in 1988, the first exoplanet was discovered and or confirmed. And I went back to his office. He was on the phone. I leaned into his office like this, and I didn't tell him I was coming. I just leaned in. He saw my face. He covers up the phone. He goes, "It was only one planet." And now it's over 4,000. And that's just in an area the size of your fist at arm's length, looking overhead in the August sky. All right, in Cygnus. So you can see where that's going. And of those planets that we found, there's a certain fraction that are sort of like the Earth. And the James Webb Space Telescope that Keith and I love so much is going to look at some of those planets and see if it can detect atmospheres. And then it's going to see if it can detect what kind of composition those atmospheres are.
How exciting
Won't
is
that
that?
Be something?
Like from a guy, like I know you.
Exciting.
Okay, I've known you for a long time now. We have been acquaintances, dare I say friends, for 8-10 years now, I guess.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
The fact that this thing actually got launched and it made it and it's parked and now it's going to enter into your specialty, exoplanets.
Yep.
That has to be like, you have to be on, like, no pun intended, cloud 9.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and it is. It's really amazing. Okay, let's take advantage of this really good night. By the way, first thing I'm going to do is check out this guy right here. We went and saw this before, but it goes without saying that this guy is really pretty, and we're just going to go and check it out. So the telescope is going to head there now. You watch over my head, you'll see the telescope moving a little bit. Okay.
Right.
I know it doesn't look like it's moving, but that's because it's close to this area that we're in. And it's going to go to a star that it knows, namely this one. It's going to center that star up and then use it as a waypoint to get to the object we need. It's called high precision pointing. Okay, so here it is, lining it up. And what star is that? It usually tells me here, but I had the display off. I didn't turn the display on. All right, so it's a star that's in the area. All right, it's already gone. So now you're going to see this beautiful reflection nebula complex. There it is right there. And we're going to bring it. Yeah, you'll see. It gets far better. Much better. Much better. You see this here? This is a dark area. This is dark clouds and dark clouds of dust. So,
hey, you know that void that Hubble pointed at when it first was up there?
Oh, yeah.
What was that called again?
The Great Void?
Is that what they called it, really? I thought it actually had like a name.
I thought so. I think that's what you're talking about.
Can you point your telescope at that and like take an exposure just so you can see the void, or wouldn't you be able to do it from there?
Well, what you would... No, I think that we have to wait until the right time of year to see the void.
Gotcha.
If you're talking about the Great Void, I think you're talking about near in Arcturus, the Boötes, the sheep herder.
Boötes.
Okay.
Yep.
Boötes. You said Boötes.
I could have swore it had a different name though.
All right, well, look it up and then tell me what it is.
Hubble.
Yeah, go find it. I'm doing like 5 things at once here, so you know.
Hey, buddy.
You can figure it out.
You need a hug?
Yeah, I do. Okay. Please. Okay, watch this now. Okay, so now, I don't know if you can see it, but it's very faint right now. But you can see there's nebula here, here, and here, and here. So we're going to do, now I have to wait about 11 seconds because the telescope has to acquire a guide star. And so it's going through the system and it's getting a guide star. And once it gets the guide star, then we will be able to take the image and have it guide automatically. Oh, this I hope is going to be stunning. Let's do a 30-second exposure here as well. The reason I do 30 seconds and the reason I do 30 seconds and no more, okay, is because I don't want to make you guys wait, and we don't need that much more time. So let's do it. So I'm going to take off my highly intensified finder view and go back into a stack now. Well, and once we start this, then you can tell me what you're talking about, Keith, after I get rid of this.
Yeah, I found it. It's
we're going to clear that. Okay, what do you got?
It's actually from something you mentioned, and now my new favorite term for space, but it's the Boötes void.
The Boötes void, right? Okay.
Yep, you were right.
Yep. Now, GS 077 says the Hubble Ultra Deep Field is a deep field image of a small region of space in the constellation of Fornax, containing an estimated 10,000 galaxies. Absolutely correct. And the deep field was done in two formats. It was done in visible light, the light we see with our eyes, and then it was done in the infrared. All right, and the Hubble has an infrared telescope that could see a little bit into the infrared. Okay, but you have to understand that the infrared is a pretty extensive region. Now, where are we talking? We're talking about a region that's out past the red visible light that we see. The reddest red light then becomes invisible light. And the reason that the JWST, the James Webb Space Telescope, has only infrared systems is because its primary mission was to look for galaxies where they're back at the beginning of time. So why do we care about infrared? Because as we look farther and farther out, we discover something curious. The galaxies are moving faster and faster the farther out we look, moving away from us. In fact, moving away from each other. How can that be? Well, one way to think about it, and it's a really good analogy, is to blow up a balloon to about, say, this big, size of a hard ball or a softball, and then take a Sharpie and put little black dots or little dots all over the balloon, and then start blowing it up. And what you'll notice is that the dots near your mouth where you're blowing into the nozzle are moving away from you at a much slower rate than the dots farther out on the balloon as it blows up. They're getting farther and farther away from you at a much faster rate than those nearby. Believe it or not, that's what we see in the universe. And the dots themselves are actually moving away from each other as well. This is the accelerating, expanding universe in a nutshell. Okay, so that's the analogy, a balloon that you're blowing up, okay, with dots on it. Now, here's the thing that we also notice, and that is, as we see these balloons, the balloon is blowing up, and you see those dots or galaxies far away, as they're accelerating far away from us, a strange thing happens to the light we get from them. The light is shifted toward the red end of the spectrum. That actually, has a curious name, it's called redshift, okay? And that redshift can be very great, and the farther out we look, some galaxies, a great many of them that we've never seen before, have all of their light data shifted all the way out into the infrared. So we can look at them with any visible telescope we have, and we can't see them, ever. And the Hubble could look a little bit into the infrared and saw some of them. But there was way many more way out there that we cannot see that the James Webb can see.
Yeah, because like the James Webb is like
the whole point.
Does James Webb have X-ray capability?
No.
Okay.
That's the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, because so what do we have? Well, the Webb is going to be mostly infrared, right?
Correct.
And the Hubble was mostly visible in the ultraviolet. Right?
Well, no, it had visible and infrared. Okay. It had
I know the Hubble had
a little
slight
of everything.
infrared, but nowhere near what James Webb does. But the Hubble's mostly was visible in ultraviolet light, wasn't it? No.
Well, it was mostly it's mostly visible, and it might have some ultraviolet. We have the Chandra X-ray telescope, which was X-ray light.
Right.
You know, we had the Spitzer Space Telescope, which was infrared only, but the mirror was 3 feet across on the Spitzer. Okay, the mirror on the James Webb is 21 feet across.
If you guys want to see some awesome images, look up the Chandra X-ray images. Wow. When they're done processing those things, wow.
Yeah.
Very awesome. Yeah.
So this is a beautiful reflection nebula region right here, and I just wanted to show it because why not? It's really pretty, and I wanted to bring it out and bring it to your attention. It doesn't look anything like the Rosette, but it's a very different type of nebula. So as we start to process a little bit, you start to see more details, and we've only got like a 9 frames stacked here. But if you look, you'll notice that there's this little tendril of black right here that comes down and connects this. And there's more out here. There's a big one up there. This is all dark nebula up here, blocking the light of the stars beyond. See all those stars there? Okay, and all those stars there, they're being blocked by something dark right here. And that's dark dust that we talked about that could someday form stars and sometime in the future planets around those stars. So this is cool. Very nice. Izabela's got a question for you.
Yeah, no. Answered.
You did?
Yeah.
Where?
Right in the chat.
You said the JWST. Then you said no, not yet.
Yep.
I got you.
The James Webb is a time machine. It's looking back at it's gonna be looking back at what 13 billion years. Sick.
Yes. Yes.
So awesome. The evolution of the universe.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Because it's got a pretty good communication with Earth, so, it shouldn't take long for some awesome images to start blasting back here.
Oh, from James Webb?
Mm-hmm.
Well, at its distance, it's an 11-second trip time.
Yeah. Not too shabby.
Well, and as you said before, I think it was you that just said it's like looking back in time. It's a time machine.
Yeah.
The universe is definitely a time machine, without doubt.
That's so crazy, though, how space and time works.
I know it. I know. It's crazy.
The farther you see, the more back in time you see.
That's right.
Like, what if we get, so good at it, we're zooming in with these giant space telescopes, and it's just all of a sudden you're looking at the back of your own head.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, what happened? We entered a portal.
Well, if the universe is spherical, then you would think that maybe if you go out far enough, you end up coming back on yourself.
Yeah, right?
But there's some mythos to that. But by the way, when I said before, I was talking about when I was talking to my observatory director, I said I believe it's a populated universe. Remember I said that?
Yeah. Well, okay. Here we go. Okay, just do it.
No, I'm just gonna show. This is the smaller one, but I wrote a book called The Populated Universe because of this. And there it is. And it's got about 400 pages. There's an oversized book on full color. It's available on Amazon. And it's about the search for planets around other stars, the search for extraterrestrial life. And it looks at the Earth and how life formed here, which kind of gives us some clues as to what to look for. Because what happened here, I don't think is an accident. I think it's a template that the universe provides. So I have a feeling that that's where that.
I hear that's a good book.
Well, at least it's not me saying it alone. I guess I could, but I just offer it up in case anyone is interested in that search.
Yeah.
I don't really.
I'm serious. I'm absolutely. I'm being 100% serious. I hear it's a good book. I never got to read it myself. Yeah. Just saying.
And I was gonna say, Petita there, PG. She bought a book, and when I saw her at the Pine Bush UFO conference in New York, and she hasn't read it yet, so she can't speak to that.
I'll read it if I, ever get one or anything,
If you ever get one. Here we go.
I'm just saying, you didn't let me write the forward to it.
No, I did not.
But you said I can write the next one, right?
I think at the I could add. I'm not sure who I want to have write the forward. I was thinking of asking Neil deGrasse Tyson to write the forward.
Oh, you don't need it. Yeah, I'll ask Boner to write mine.
Or Michio Kaku.
Yeah,
Michio Kaku.
I can just
okay?
jump. I'll jump on LinkedIn and just
yeah,
and just. Excuse me, can you write a forward to a book? No, I will write the forward. You will be pleasant. Okay, at least give me a chance to write the forward, and you can look at it.
I would never deny you an opportunity. Okay. I don't deny anyone an opportunity to do anything.
Well, you let me know.
I think everyone deserves to be heard.
Yes, you let me know.
Okay.
When you're
all right.
When you're thinking about another book, and let me know the premise, and then give me at least 3 chapters to read to go on that I can set the tone with the forward.
Okay.
Yep. Let's co-write a book.
Okay.
You want to co-write a book?
Okay, Keith. Okay, Keith.
I'll do like you do the serious scientific-y stuff, and I'll do the comic on the opposite page. With stick figures.
Scientifically serious. You know what? That would actually be very funny, and I bet you people would
It'd
love
be
it.
very different because you'd have the facts and the science laid out in nice wording as you do, and then there'll be like little stick figure pictures on the opposite page, like kind of depicting what you're explaining over there. So it's a best
on the
for
left
both.
side.
It's good for smart people. It's good for stupid people.
No,
kind of like we are in
good
public.
It's all good. It's good for all people because you could on one side it could say Marc says, and we have a thing, and then on the other side it says Keith says, and there's little pictures of me in the corner, a little picture of you in the corner, and I'm looking like the studious type, and then you with a little lab coat, and so forth, and you on the other side, you're all disheveled and your glasses are crooked, and you're looking at stuff, and you got long scraggly hair.
No, we should do
That's
like Marc's
can make
page
it a
and
kid's
Keith's
book.
page. So yours will be a nice
make it
scientific explanation, and you come over to my side, and I'm just like I draw like little stick figures, randomly what's going on with the page that you wrote, but yeah.
Like we'll talk about it'll be the astrophysics for dummies.
There you go. See, perfect. Okay. Right there's $1 million.
And then
I'd buy that.
I'm not kidding, and I think it's funny. And then what we'll do is I'll create the artwork, okay, for like the really like a black hole. Here's what a black hole is, and on the other side you say a black hole's a star that sucks. Whatever.
Izabela is creative, and she just said that actually sounds like a unique and fantastic idea. See, we could do that. You do your thing that you do, and I'll do my thing that I do, and then people that like you can read your stuff, and then people that like me can read that, and the people that just want to laugh because everything I'm doing has no relation to what you're writing. Right in between.
I think it should have a relation to what we're doing. I think that it's like it should be the left page is me and the right page is you, or vice versa, whatever, and then it says what Marc says, and then talks about black holes.
Hi, Marianne.
What Marc says about black holes. Marianne's here. Hey, Marianne. Yep. Marianne's
We're talking about me and Marc's new book.
Mesa. I like it, Keith. I really actually do like it. I'm writing it down, believe it or not, because I like this idea.
See? God.
I could get
Man,
into
I'm
that
tired of being
because we
brilliant.
Could take...
I'm telling you right now. And you know who I'm calling to do the forward?
Hey, voter.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yep.
This is beautiful, huh?
Yep.
Oh, look at that right there. This is never before. This is better than anything we've ever shown. My gosh.
We don't need no degree.
Marianne, the night is beautiful. And just so you know, Marianne Robb is in the chat now, and Marianne Robb is probably one of the most important people to get Sky Tour Livestream West off the ground.
I love Marianne.
Without her, and he has, without her insight and input, it never would have happened.
Yeah.
Never would have happened.
Yeah, without Marianne, it's just Marc sitting there staring at his computer from Connecticut.
Well, no, I would have had.
With his little dome.
I would have been doing it here, yeah.
Like a big dually pickup truck was doing burnouts out of his house with domes and
things
telescopes.
That he stole.
And well, the bed of my truck will be filled with a populated universe. Wink, wink. No, nothing. Okay.
Yes, that's right. And it begins with J and ends with Jupiter.
Yeah. If Jupiter and Saturn had a baby, we would just have to call it Stupider.
Or just call it Jupiter Tour.
Right. Jupiter Tour live stream. Or what did we say earlier? Live tour with Marc Skystream or something like that?
Skystream live tour. Live tour
Skystream live tour. That's the new parody account.
Skystream live tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your t-shirts and coffee mugs. Available Friday.
Yeah, weird guy remembers. I was out in the cold for months and months and months. Actually, about a better part of 2 years. I was actually out in the dome in the middle of winter. It'd be 20 degrees, maybe 5 below zero, and I'd still be out there talking to people, doing the operations. And then I went remote because I said, I must go remote. This is killing me. So I investigated how to make it go remote, and I realized I could put this all together. So everything you see here around you, this is all stuff that I put together for the process, including using this planetarium system that's linked to the telescope. All right, and the telescope knows where it is because of that target thing there. It's just beautiful. And speaking of that, we're going to go to the Christmas tree cluster next because that's beautiful too. It's going to be stunning. All right, this telescope is performing unbelievably tonight. Just so you know, Marianne, you should feel really good that it's performing very well.
Yeah. Where is Williams, Arizona? Is that not near Mesa?
It's not. That's where she is right now. She's up there with Stacy Wright from the Phoenix MUFON group.
I am so glad she's enjoying retirement because I know when I was talking to her, maybe it was when I was at her house. I know I could tell, even though I don't think she wanted to admit it, I could tell she was a little iffy about the whole retirement thing, But I'm so glad she's enjoying herself. That's so awesome.
Yeah. It's
somebody
true.
that deserves it too.
Okay. Yeah, she deserves it. Don't let her know that though. Because then she'll go to her head.
Oh, I will. I'll tell her every day because she likes me more than you, and that's my best friend, and I will not have you talking crap on her.
Okay, which I never do, but okay.
I know.
Okay, we're saving this exactly as seen and the stack, as you saw up there in the green. And now we'll clear this. This is a beautiful reflection nebula complex with dark nebula. And now we're going to go to a beautiful emission nebula region, which is just stunning. The beautiful complex of emission nebula. Emission nebulae are these red nebulas that we talked about before. Okay, and so let's go. And actually, we're so close that I really don't have to. I'll just tell the telescope to go by itself. I mean, I don't generally have to. I could just steer the telescope to it, but that takes time. Let's just have a.
Do you know how much time it's going to take you to get used to having instant button access when the Starlink goes up? Like you're going to have to go back to get used to that instead of that little delay.
I know. It's really bad. Tricky. That's right. Right now I have like a 1 to 3 second delay, guys. So
yeah, but like
I make it look like it's something I do every day. You don't notice it because I'm doing everything. I'm putting keystrokes in ahead of time before I even say some of the things I'm doing. But when they get Starlink, I won't have to do that.
You know what I forgot to ask, Izabela? Do you have a like a public art page like on Instagram or on Flickr or something like that that you post your? Why don't you ever post a link? Let people in that.
She does.
I would promote the hell out of that. You're so talented.
I tell her to do that all the time.
Yeah, because you give it to me, I'm posting it all over P&K stuff. I'm gonna be driving some traffic your way because you are talented.
Yep. Hey, you know what? I think she'd be great at designing new T-shirts for both of us.
Don't steal my idea.
Oh, it's not a steal.
I see what you're doing.
We're trying to blend our mutual operations together.
I don't see a store underneath your video here. Do you have a store?
That's because I don't have enough subscribers.
Really?
I need 10,000 to have a store. Yeah.
No way. They make you have 10,000 subscribers to do that?
Look it up. I think so.
Oh. Sorry. You want me to put some Sky Tour stuff and just give you the money for them? Put them on P&K store until you're ready?
I think that would be wonderful, but you know what? You don't have
I can.
to.
I can. There's no problem.
I know. We'll talk. I like the book idea. I want to work on that.
Skystream live tour with Marc Dantonio t-shirts. we did it wrong, so we avoid copyright infringement. I'll be selling Skystream Marc tour.
Live tour.
Yeah, Skystream live tour t-shirts, and you'd be like, what the heck is going on? It's like a wish.com version of Sky Tour live stream.
It's like, what in the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. This is called the Christmas tree cluster, by the way. And this is we knew the other things we were looking at. And this is an emission and reflection nebula. The emission from the hydrogen gas, right? And here, I'll put the name up for you. Ta-da! There it is. Right? And then we have the emission below. This is the reflection nebula you're seeing right there. And now we're going to move it up. Go ahead. Up you go. And then right here is the emission part. All right. And then right down at the bottom, we just got to move a little higher, is something amazing. We can get 3 amazing objects in one view. And there we go. We have it now. So I'll show you here, because now that I've done this, I've got to move that. Come here, you. So there it is. Right there is a nebula right there that looks like a little comet. There's a nebula right there that you're seeing. This is live, by the way, and then you're seeing a nebula there. But check out, when we do the long exposure, check out what we're really looking at here. This is a phenomenal location. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so this is going to be a 30-second shot. I don't go over 30 seconds because I don't have to. All right, so here we go. 30 seconds is underway. You'll see the green bar over there. Okay, right there. Moving. And we're going to get rid of our hyper view here. And then pull up the stack. Clear any stack that's got anything in it. All right, and we're good right now. And after 30 seconds, you're going to see the Christmas tree nebula with the blue reflection nebula in it, and then another nebula here, and then the Hubble's variable nebula down at the bottom. That nebula in the middle here, that's called the cone. Look at this. Look at all the nebulas. There's a cluster here that's so cool. We've got the Hubble's variable nebula there. We have the cone. We have the Christmas tree. This is by far one of the most beautiful regions of the night sky. And we're doing it, by the way, at 275 gain, not the 350. So it's got less noise. And we still get just about the same amount of response. What do you think of that, Keithy?
I try not to think. People ask you questions when you think.
Yeah. Isabella, thank you for putting up the image server. I let you know, after we do each object, she puts up the image server when the directory's made. She puts it up so people can go right to it. You know, that's pretty cool. She's very, very good about this.
Darn right.
And she does all the table of contents for our videos. There's a lot of work there.
Right?
You know?
Thankless work.
Vera's got a new puppy? What? I want to hear about this. What kind of puppy is it, Vera?
Ooh, a new puppy.
A tiny little black lab. You got to call it Cosmo. Or Cosmos.
Right?
Cosmo, get in here.
Look at that.
Skystream live tour with Dark Me Antonio.
Wish.com. Available in February.
Yeah. Yeah. Skystream live tour with Marc de Triomphe.
Come on down and visit P&K with Keith Ickes. Or Keith Ickes.
Keith Ickes, yeah. That's a good one. Keith Ickes.
Where everything is bass-ackwards.
Rat Stite.
Right. So that is only 4 stacked frames, and it's already popping. Oh, 5 stacked frames.
Yorkshire. Vera's got a Yorkshire. That's
cool. She got a yip yip.
Yap yap.
Aren't they aren't them the dogs just yip 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 yip? Ouch.
I don't know. Ask her. She'll tell you.
Will she now? Hey now.
I suspect so.
Hey, Marc, you want to send me one of them books, would you? You probably have like 6 on your coffee table.
Oh, hi, Marc.
I do not actually. Believe it or not, I don't have any. But I do want you to have one. You know, for everything you've done for me, that's the very least I could do, obviously.
I just want to read it.
Yes.
Can I borrow yours?
I just want you to have it. You could borrow anything I got. Well, you come over whenever you come over. You take everything I got.
Oh,
anyway,
they're good. They're good. It's on Amazon, right?
He shows up at my house. He says, "Oh, that's a cool satellite model. I'll take that." And he walks away with it and then puts it in his truck. Then he comes back in. What else you got? And then he showed him these 4x4 crater plates that we 3D print of areas on the moon that I very accurately paint, right? And he goes, "Oh, that's cool. I'll take that. I'll take that." And then he wants a particular crater, so I make it. Oh, I'll take that.
Yeah. Next thing you know, I'm going down the driveway with a wood burning stove.
Actually, no. I still have that. You haven't taken that yet. I only have one.
Yeah. It works, though.
I did give away a wood burning stove one year.
Hey, boner.
Yeah.
I did. I gave it away because I didn't have a house to put it in.
We were thinking about putting one in because of heating costs these days. No matter what it is, electric. I mean, I guess natural gas is still okay, but man, electric and oil are just
through the roof. So on that side of the house, I got a wood stove going right now as we speak. And on that side of the house, I got a pellet stove going as we speak. And I don't use the furnace. I haven't used it all winter yet. Maybe it goes on a couple times in the middle of the night when the wood stove goes out or the pellet stove empties by accident. It might kick on. But
what do you get? Just a couple cords?
Like I got one cord. Just got one cord right now.
Oh.
And we bring in a bunch of wood, let it sit here because it's stored outside. So we let it dry out.
How much is a cord? A cord is like what? 4x4x4?
4x4x8.
4x4x8. Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. I can't wait to play a Krogan. It's gonna be so fun.
Play what?
A Krogan.
Oh, okay. In Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be a Krogan warrior. These humans are not worth talking to.
But it's going to be.
Look at this beautiful.
Tough.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to do a color balance, and then we're going to do a little processing. I'm going to kick up the black level just a bit. Okay, that's more like it's supposed to be for the color. And now I'm going to set our black level here with this vertical line that you see right there. Just a little to darken it, just enough. That's too much.
Are you on 1080p? What's his name? Oh,
everybody
Kevy?
Should be on. Everybody, yeah, Kevy. Just make sure on 1080p.
I mean, it's not as crisp and clear as like say the images are, but I think that's on purpose. The lighting of the software to ease the eyes.
Yeah,
I don't know. I can't really compare it to older ones, but
actually, it's pretty crisp.
Yeah, I mean, it don't look bad to me.
Let me just show you something here too. I just want to see if I can pop this back just a little bit. Get a slight bit brighter. There we go.
Okay, go ahead and thanks for rubbing it in, Marianne.
Hey, Ralph Wooden, how are you? She says, hey, just I don't have to shovel sunshine. Just saying hi. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, maybe I won't have to sooner than later if I'm in Phoenix more often than not. So let's take a tour of the screen here. This right here is the Christmas tree cluster. Okay, it's a young cluster, and it's an upside down Christmas tree topped by the Cone Nebula right here. All right, let's zoom in a little. We've already stacked 14, so it should look pretty good. I'll go to 75% of the full size of the frame right here. All right, and now if we move over, all right, you can see that there's the Cone Nebula. Oh, this is just stunning. This is prettier than anything we've ever come up with here. Really is. Okay, there's the cone. It's a dark nebula, and this is a dense area here. And the starlight back there is trying to evaporate it, and it's not working. Obviously, some of it worked, but this is resilient enough. And it might be that star, or it might be one of these stars, actually, that's responsible for some of that. Moving up a little bit.
Another H2 region.
That is an H2 region. That's correct. The red is the H2 regions. This is a reflection nebula. Again, the dust that's in here is scattering the bright blue light, the blue part of the spectrum of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And it's scattering the blue light because those particles are very... they have an affinity for the blue energy, the blue light energy, so to speak. And so they scatter that light in all directions. So that's why we see that. This is dark nebula here.
It's another Herschel discovery.
Yeah.
Boom.
If you notice this, you can see this beautiful dark dust here. Okay, this is stunning stuff right here. Really beautiful stuff. Okay. And this, again, this dark dust, it's that which makes planets and potentially life. We're staring at it right there. It all starts out with a young cluster, and then it moves to a whole different realm. So you see all this brown dust. That's actually the color of the dust is sort of a brownish color. And it looks black against other things. It looks black here because it doesn't have a lot of light on it. But when
that's
you
the
get
Christmas
light,
tree.
just light, that's the cone, actually. That's the top of the tree. Christmas tree is like this, and it's like this. Here's the sides. The Christmas tree. That's the bottom of the Christmas tree. It's sort of reversed, and it's almost like an inverted cone for the top of the tree.
Oh, I always thought that was called like that nebula because
down.
that, like I always considered the cone was like the Christmas tree.
Yeah. Oh no, it's the Christmas tree cluster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
you flip it upside down.
So that's it. That's correct. That's right.
Gotcha.
And so when you actually illuminate the dust with just starlight, when it actually reflects the starlight and doesn't scatter it like here, okay, then it looks brown like this. You get this brownish glow. This stuff has a little reddish hue to it. If I was to do the right thing here, I think what we would do is we would drop the red level just a tad, okay, like that. And now you can see the brown much better in here. And then the red is still red.
Oh, the brown. Is that like the fox fur?
Yes.
Nice.
That's right. That's here as you're looking in your and you're looking at pictures of it and you see the fox fur nebula there. That's it.
Right.
Richard Whatmore says, "Hello and thank you for your show, guys. I have a question. Hope you can answer. I look east early morning, just before the sunrise. There's a very large and very bright object low on the horizon.
The morning star.
I would suspect you're looking at Venus, Richard.
Yep.
I would suspect that, but check it out.
It's the evening star in the fall and the morning star in the winter. For us, anyway. Yeah. I don't know where you are, but yeah.
Yeah, once Venus gets around the corner, so to speak, and it's on the other side of the sun, it becomes a morning object, which I believe you're discovering. It's no longer an evening object now. So if we come down now in our beautiful image here, we come down near the bottom, and down at the bottom now, we have this guy. This is an amazing little nebula that I've imaged many times, and when I was doing this years ago, I never knew that all this other stuff was there, up there. Okay, now that is called Hubble's Variable Nebula. Called so because this particular nebula is actually, there's a star down here at the bottom, but that star is not causing the illumination here. What's happening is there's a dark nebula here that you can see. It's part of a dark complex of nebula all around my head, in fact, and this is some light that is sneaking out of the dark nebula here, okay, and there's a star in there that's illuminating the dust that you see here. This is a reflection nebula. However, what happens is the dust is going around this star, It's orbiting the star, blankets of this dust, and so it actually causes the nebula to dim and change its brightness on a routine basis. So what we're seeing tonight for the Hubble's Variable Nebula is different from what we saw last week. It's pretty interesting how that all works. You know?
Cruising around the Monoceros.
Monoceros, yes, unicorn. Monoceros, one horn.
Yep.
So there we go. So that's a beautiful image. You also might notice there's little blue lines here or there and red lines. Those are pixel errors on the camera, and I get rid of those in post. But we have done 25 images here stacked. Look at how beautiful this. There's a green one right there. Look how beautiful this is. This stands to make an absolutely stunning portrait of this nebula. Look at that beautiful dark dust and everything. You can almost see it in 3 dimensions, can't you? It's just beautiful. Sorry, I was in the way. I'll move out of the way now. Cool. Okay, so this is 26 stack going on 27. So at 27, we'll halt and we'll take a ride down further south to another beauty that I'd like to see and show all of you. Because it's going to take us to one of Izabela Melamed's favorite objects. Right? And I haven't forgotten Michael Klage's request for M81 and M82. Okay, I'm going to
Have you ever heard of something called the Red Square Nebula? It's supposedly very odd.
Yeah, and I think that I might have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Jack Horkheimer, that JSCO 77. This music right here sort of sounds like Jack Horkheimer. His music was and then it kind of sounds like this right here. Yes, I know. I'm an idiot savant when it comes to music like that. You know? Okay, so we saved the ping, we saved the stack. So now we can clear this and end the stack here and come out. Go back to 1 second production photos. All right, for the moment, and activate our low light finder and then drop out to our auto mode.
Oh.
So we go back to the full frame.
The red square nebula is actually located in it is located in Serpens.
Okay,
constellation
sounds
Serpens.
Like yes, and what's the right ascension?
Let's see. We got declination, magnitude.
What's the RA?
The what?
Right
the
ascension.
RA?
RA. The RA.
Yeah.
Donald Kunzer, if I may, Arabesque #1, performed by Tomita. I have Tomita's Planets. He performs Planets, which was originally done by Holst as classical music. And I remember the Tomita Planets. I used the Tomita Planets as backdrop for doing talks and stuff in the past. But once the whole copyright thing started to come in and play, I just abandoned that. But that's really cool. And software that I'm using. Okay, Ralph Wooden's asking, what software is it that I'm using? I'm using a lot of software. This is a free product, which I have. This is called APT. This here is a product called SharpCap Pro. This is a free product to look at my inside of the telescope, along with the computer right there inside. And then this here is the planetarium program. Boop. That's Stellarium. That's tied to the telescope. So it's all an integration that I've put together of material.
18 hours, 21 minutes.
Okay. If you notice, we're at 6 hours. So we're actually on the other side of the sky right now. Yep. And so we're not in the summertime sky.
Nope. But we have to remember that because it's supposedly just a red square. 18 hours, 21 minutes, 16 seconds.
Yeah.
Sweet. 5,000 light years, and you image it, and it always comes up as a square, and they don't know why.
It's just happenstance of the way the dust and hydrogen emission is laid out. Okay,
Actually,
now we're going to look at this one here. We tried to look at this yesterday, and that's when the telescope went haywire. So we're going to do it again. When I say haywire, that's when we lost the internet. But tonight, we haven't had any problems. So
none.
I'm thinking we're going to have a good night.
Sure. I remember somebody saying
Red Square Nebula is tiny, and you need a real big scope for that. You're right. We need focal length. But that's okay. Okay, we're going to the star Sirius right now. You can see it right there. And you can also see it right there. Sirius will be our signpost to the Seagull Nebula. And I'm telling you, tonight these images that are coming out are just spectacular. So I have no doubt that we're going to be in for some beautiful, beautiful images up on the server. By the way, the images on the server are going to be better than what we see here, because you're looking at this a step removed when you see it through here, because you're effectively looking at my computer screen out in the observatory building. Okay.
Yep.
What is so funny?
Nothing. I was just,
Yeah. All right, there is the Seagull Nebula. Okay. Oh, turtles?
No, not the turtles.
Oh, okay. Well,
Pervert. Yeah.
No, you just like turtles. Izabela says the Christmas tree's up on the server already, so that's good.
Nice.
Very good. Okay. Here's the Seagull Nebula. You can kind of see the head and the wings here. I mean, we say that, but is it really a seagull? No. I'm going to zoom in here just to see how our focus is doing. I'm going to go to 100% and see if it's as sharply focused as it appears. And yeah, it looks beautiful. So our temperature has been dropping in the building, and as the temperature drops in the building, the focus changes, and our telescope is compensating and automatically changing the focus. Right. So now, by now we have the guide star. So I'm going to come in here and do no mystery now. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Get your stuff together. And off we go. So you'll see the green bar over there. There it is. Okay, it's moving across the screen. And we're going to go into our live stack and capture this. All right. And let's see what we got. All right, so... All right, let's see what happens. Okay, Ralph says, so cool. I have a Los Mandy GM811G plus Celestron 11-inch SCT plus imaging cam, guide cam, off-axis guider, that's the OAG, electronic focuser, and Wi-Fi module. Oops, and I left this on somehow. Thought I'd get rid of that.
Oh my.
Yeah, there we go. Oh my. Okay, and there is the Seagull Nebula with satellite. That's beautiful. And then he says, hope to get everything up and start imaging the spring or summer. Yeah, I hope so, man. If I can help you in any way, let me know. I'll be happy to help you if I have a way to do so. Where are you located, Ralph?
Let's find some UFOs.
Okay, that's right. I'm going to do a color correction right here. There we go. And let's see what we can do here. All right. Oh, yeah, that looks really nice. We can set the dark level a little better. And I'm going to drop us back just a tad. There we go. Look at that. Ah, how beautiful.
What is this we're looking at again? Just a reminder.
This is the Seagull Nebula.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm going to make a note of it here. And this is actually called an emission nebula because it is only that hydrogen gas. There's a subtle reflection component to it.
Is it the Seagull Nebula or the Seagull's Head Nebula?
It's the Seagull.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me just. I did something I didn't want to do here. Let's. Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. It's an emission nebula, which is the red part you see here, and then right there. Okay, right there. See, this is all the emission, but then right there we have a little subtle reflection nebula. So again, keep in mind that every time you see an emission nebula, there's dust in there too. Okay. Oh, you're in High Point, North Carolina. Ralph, I get a lot of stuff from High Point Scientific down there.
Dude,
in fact, this telescope.
Stay stacking this.
I am.
Please. Yeah.
I am.
It's gonna look awesome.
So this, Ralph, I get the telescope we're looking at right here came from High Point Scientific. So I got it from them. They're good people.
I've been to High Point. Yes. You know what?
Oh,
High Point. Yes. They're known for furniture. We were down there for like big furniture shows and stuff because they're a furniture capital of like the world.
Okay. Well,
High Point, North Carolina.
High Point Scientific is actually the only place I know there.
Because you're scientific. But yeah, I think High Point is like the furniture capital of the world. They have big, huge furniture shows down there. When we had the store down in Annapolis, we used to go down.
Izabela.
Beautiful area.
Izabela, I want you to Izabela, regale us with your knowledge about the forces in space that cause the Seagull Nebula. Now she's going, oh no, what did I get into?
Oh no.
We love Izabela. She's just so good, so
when
generous.
when you get the Seagull Nebula to pop, it pops.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. It almost looks like a normal like nebula and stuff, but it has like a really bright cloud, and then it has like a lot of like marble looking stars around it, like different colored stars. It's kind of cool looking.
Yep. Oh yes, and Ralph says he's getting a scope from High Point. Yeah, High Point's a great place. The only problem with scopes now is because of the silly pandemic, okay? I say silly, I mean it's not silly, okay? My son had it. Both sons had it. I got it back in February. It just arrived in the United States. I was actually doing a conference in Las Vegas, and I got it there. Didn't know I had it at the time. This particular telescope I wanted to order was not available, and they said it was going to be 11 months before they could see any telescopes. And I was like, no. And what it was this telescope that you're seeing right here, okay, 10-inch LX600 Meade running at f2, which is a very, very fast optical instrument now. It was actually not performing initially, and it was spinning on the axis. There was something electronically wrong with it. Meade said they were going to send it off to Mexico to get repaired, and I was like, oh, I can't believe that. And then Marianne actually said, we got to find another place, and I was just going crazy out of my head because the telescope was, after all that work, the telescope was failing. And Marianne, cool head, she's a police officer, she said to herself, okay, we got to find a place that can handle it. And she found a place down in Tucson, which is about 3 hours away, called Starizona. And Starizona is a lifesaver. They know everything there is to know about telescopes. And we got hooked up with a guy there Dave, who is very, very knowledgeable about our particular telescope. We brought it down there, and he repaired it in 3 freaking days. And Meade said it was going to be 6 months. You know,
well,
3 days.
I get that with all the, logistic backups and stuff. So maybe Starizona just had the stuff there to do it,
This was exactly. And so I drove it to Tucson, dropped it off, and then I didn't have the telescope to install that entire trip, and I came back kind of dejected. And Marianne said, just stay calm, we'll get it up and running. And indeed, it's up and running now.
Yep.
And so I drove down to pick it up. I could not wait to get that thing installed. I got it installed, and right out of the box, it worked perfect. I was like, oh, it was so perfect. I just was so pleased. And everything it's doing now is just the way it ought to be. And
Sweet.
we installed some additional software on this thing because sometimes it loses its place in the sky. And telescopes do that. You know, we got hit with a solar flare. And the solar flare out in the desert was really powerful. And what it did was it ended up not frying, but zeroing out a lot of the onboard computer, including location where it was in the whole universe, where it was in the Earth. So we ended up having to redo all that. But I had to do it long distance. I had to do it from here because the flare hit while I was in Connecticut, and it's 2,500 miles away. Well, that said, I ended up working on it from here, and I had Daryl Mason with me. And Daryl, of course, you know him from Sky Tour Radio. He's a co-host along with Amanda Curran and Tara Daiulis. And Daryl and I would sit there and try to find an object we knew. And if we knew it, we'd center it, and then we'd set the right ascension and declination coordinates that you see up here. You can put the coordinates in here and say sync and make it work. That wasn't working all the time. I was going out of my mind trying to figure out why nothing was working right. And then finally, I said, I can't deal with that. We have to figure out why this isn't working. And the way I figured out how to make it know where it was at all times, even when it loses its place, how it could find it again, is with a process called plate solving. And I basically treated plate solving as something I didn't really want to get into in the past until I needed it. And once I needed it, then I had to install databases onto this observatory computer, and the telescope takes an image of a star field, much like this one, and it goes through the database, and it matches the position exactly. How about that? You have billions of stars, well, not really, tens of thousands of stars that it's using in this database, and it goes through all of them, and finally it says position found, and you take those coordinates and you plug them in here and you say sync, and boom, your telescope's fully aligned. It saves you so much trouble, but it doesn't save you from actually aligning the telescope perfectly to the North Pole. You have to do that initially, and once that's set up so that when you go to 90 degrees in that tube, where it's angled back at the exact angle of the Earth's axis from that location on the Earth and the planet, it points back this way, and right up along the tube you can see the North Star. Until you get that alignment exactly right mechanically, so it's actually got to be aligned. Until you get that, you're not going to be able to find stuff in the sky like we're doing. So I had to do that, and I had to make sure that it was fully aligned physically, mechanically. Then the software can take over and do, as Ralph says, polar align. That's right. Exactly. And it's a hard pier now, but we're actually taking this pier. It's a concrete floor, actually, and the concrete floor in there is about 8 to 10 inches thick, okay, in this building. We made it over structure, so we don't want any vibration or anything. I'm taking that steel pier out of there, and we're installing what are called lifting columns. So that means the telescope's going to be on a pier that actually goes up on a hydraulic lift, and it's going to lift the telescope higher up into the view, so that we'll be able to see more toward the horizon. And normally astronomers don't want to see near the horizon, but there are some benefits in this region of the world, because in the desert the sky is so unbelievably clear that I have had unbelievable views close to the horizon. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have lifting columns, and we have a second telescope we're going to put into this particular building, and it's going to have a lifting column as well. And so they're both going to have those. So I wrote a software program, which is down here, this little white box in the corner. It doesn't look like much, okay, but you can see here it says opening the observatory, turn on pure power. Well, it's a program I wrote to actually run the observatory, and it interfaces with the hardware, and opens and closes the building, moves the telescope, turns it on and off, and does all the housekeeping stuff that you don't typically get to do. All right, without if you're not there. I do it all the way out here in Connecticut when things out in the desert. So that said, it really makes for a beautiful synergy of everything. Okay, we've done 23 of these stacked, 24 of these stacked.
10 more.
Oh no! You see, at this point, 10 more won't make it any better. Okay, but we can actually we can actually do this to see about processing a little bit. It thinks it's in the optimal processing. You know, when you take it with a smaller telescope, it might look like something like that. Okay, let's go back a little. It might look like this in a small telescope. You just get little hints of nebulous detail. Okay, like that maybe. All right, but in a really big telescope, and a big one like we have a pretty big telescope out there, then you get a lot more data. And you see a lot of the dark nebula. I've never been able to see dark nebula the way I have from Arizona. It is just beautiful. Just beautiful.
That's crazy good, isn't it?
Yeah. So there's the Seagull Nebula. And so what I'll do is I'm going to take this and pause this stack. Save it. You'll see the green bar across the top saying that our FITS file is now saved. That's already starting up to the server. Out of the desert, you're going to go thousands of miles via satellite, and I'm saving now the image exactly as we've seen it here. All right, and if I click on that, we would see it, you know, but in the interest of time, I will not do that. Our skies here, they rate them on the Bortle level. They get, you know, Bortle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Progressively brighter and brighter skies. Downtown Phoenix is Bortle 9. New York City, Bortle 9. Cincinnati, Bortle 9. Keith's house, Bortle 9. No, just kidding. I don't know what you are. And it was done by Bortle, a guy named Bortle. Bortle. Are you really in Bortle 7?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's just to be contrary.
Well, okay, but we can figure that out.
Right.
All right. So there it is. You can go online and click on your town, and it'll give you the lighting per square meter, and you get an idea of the Bortle rating. Okay, so this is going to go back to 1 second exposure. All right. Here we go, and we're going to go and do our beautiful. Please hit the thumbs up on the stream. I'd love to know what you all think. Leave a comment. Let me know what's going on. I really want to hear what you have to say, because I love doing this for you guys, especially the folks that have only been here for a short time, who haven't been here a lot. Let me know what you think. I'm very interested in seeing what you have to say. Okay, now let's do something else. Let's go from the Seagull. Let's just go down a little bit. And for this one, I'm just going to steer us to it, because we can do that. And I think tonight's going to be an exceptional night. So let's connect up with this object here that we're on. All right. So I'll click on that. All right. And now we're going to go down a little bit and then over a little bit.
Down and over.
So here we down and over. Here we go. Okay, and now we're going to go to the east. And we're right about there now. I should probably be able to see it if I just go down a little. Over a little more. Chicka-chicka. Oops, I meant to go west. I meant to go east, I mean. Here we go. Here it is. That little green thing. Right there. That's a very interesting thing. Okay? As it speeds out of view. No, that is that is called Thor's helmet. That's the name of the actual object. But Thor's helmet is a very interesting region because it's actually a region where there's a star that has blown off its outer envelope. It's a very, very hot star. And it may be heading toward a supernova. And these stars are known as Wolf-Rayet stars. Okay? And you can see it. You can see it's got some pretty extensive nature to it. We're going to see about... first of all, we're getting a guide star right now. That's what we're doing. All right? And as we're getting the guide star, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop us down to about 50%, and we'll do this here. Okay, and now we'll go back and do 30 seconds on this and see how that comes out. All right, so 30 seconds, and we're going to get out of our hypered mode that I like to use, jump into the live stack and delete the last stack, giving you a last view of it. There it is. And that's up on the, as Izabela just pointed out, that's up already on the server. Free to all. Free to all. Okay, so we should have our guide star. Everything should be underway, and we should now be able to get this beautiful Wolf-Rayet star bubble. Wow, look at that. That's beautiful. This is an area of the sky where there's so many stars.
Straight out of Ghostbusters.
It's just incredible. It is. It looks like the ghost from Ghostbusters, isn't it?
Anybody wonder where the green lanterns come from? There you go.
Now you see this modeling? See this modeling in the dark here? Okay, this is noise. And the stacks, which we're about to get another stacked image, see the green? Watch how that goes away. Ready? Here it goes. Okay, did you see that? It minimized. It got dimmer, and this got brighter. Yep.
It's pretty green.
Yeah, this is the best we've seen this. That's correct. This is actually a small object to us. Let me show you how big it is in our actual field if we minimize or should I say, extend out and fill the frame. That's how big it is. Just so you know, this field is 2 degrees across. That's 4 full moons across here, and 3 full moons tall. Okay, 1.5 degrees tall by 2 degrees wide. So that's what we're seeing here. This whole thing overall, the extent of this is a little less than a full moon in size. So when you look at the full moon in the sky, Thor's helmet is just about 3/4 of that in size. All right.
I'm trying to take the pareidolia over and just try to see.
Well, let me just. Well, there you go. Oh, satellite! Look at that.
Right. Slicing through.
Yeah. Right through, yeah. That's okay. I can. The nice thing about the satellites that are faint is it'll be gone before we're done. The reason is because as we stack, the satellite is on 1 frame, okay, or maybe 2, and it's yes, Michael. The satellite's on 1 frame, but what's behind the satellite is generally either a star or black of space. So when the next image is stacked, the black of space replaces a little bit of the white trail of the satellite because that was only there temporarily. If it's always there, like a star, it just builds the star image. But if it's not there, if it's a transient, it automatically slowly gets rid of it. Notice the satellite trail is actually even fainter than the last time we just saw it. This is beautiful. Man. That's pretty big, Ralph. You're right.
Love that green.
It says it looks like an owl. Yeah, it looks. I can see what you mean by an owl. Its legs are extended, but its wings are outstretched, right? Is that what you're saying? But then it's got some big green gas behind it. Exactly. Yep. You notice the red.
that.
The red
Or an
is
eagle.
the red is hydrogen alpha, and so that's red hydrogen alpha there, and then we have more red. When we process the colors, we'll be able to bring more colors out because there's actually more color to this. Izabela says, Mark, the WR stars, these Wolf-Rayet stars we're talking about, when they explode, do they move away from their orbits? Well, maybe, but not necessarily. It depends if they're in a binary orbit with another star or several stars. If they're sitting all alone, when they go supernova, the supernova material goes out and the remains stay in the middle spinning, and they could leave behind depending on their mass, they could leave behind a neutron star, or they could leave behind a pulsar or a magnetar, all different classes of neutron stars, or they can leave behind a black hole. It depends how massive they are. But the Wolf-Rayet stars, we don't know as much about them as we should, to be honest. We don't know enough about them, and we should know more, but we don't. But we're going to keep going here, and the more we learn, the less we know sometimes, to be honest. You know. Michael Klager says he likes that brown cloud on the bottom. This here, Michael, or are you talking about? This here is what I'm talking about. That guy right here, or are you talking about
Brown.
this?
Yep. That's what I thought he was talking about.
Okay, because that could be part of dark nebula that is impacted by this exploding star, or not exploding star, by this envelope of gas that has come off, and there's a lot of it in this region. Or that could be a hydrogen alpha red emission nebula as well. We have to work on that to see. Let's try something. Let's see about doing this just a bit. Okay, this doesn't take away too much detail, but this gives us a better contrast so we can see it better. Isn't that gorgeous?
This green just continues to pop.
Yes, and as I said, that the more we stack, the more the data, stacks on top of each other, and the stuff that's noise gets averaged out. So that's why the background is getting darker and darker. And right now we're at 50% of the full frame. We could go to 100% of the full frame now, and it'll look pretty good. So here's 100%. Boop. All right, check that out. We can see filaments inside of filaments. We can see this area here is brownish red. And it's interesting, the most common star in the universe is the red dwarf. Look through this image and tell me how many red stars you see. Quite a lot, aren't they? Now, there's two reasons they could be there. Number one, they could be red dwarfs. Okay? They could truly be red dwarf stars, where they're tiny stars, low luminosities. But they could also be not red dwarfs, but they could also be inside dark dust clouds. And when they're in the dark dust clouds, then they will have their light reddened in the same way that a volcanic eruption here on Earth with dust in the air causes spectacular red sunsets. Okay, so that's the same kind of thing. All right, so dust will tend to redden starlight, just like we see with our sun. All right, so this is kind of cool. See, if you're not careful, you're gonna learn something, Keith.
Darn.
Right?
I always do, my friend. I may act like I'm not paying attention, and that's mostly true, but I do learn something.
I may act like I'm not paying attention. Did you say something?
Right?
Hey, boner.
Yeah. Keith has been dying to use these taped little snippets of these little wave files, these little audio files he has. I know he has.
Oh yeah, he uses them all the time. Especially on telemarketers.
16 of these stacked. Oh yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, can you imagine being a telemarketer calling somebody up, trying to sell them something, and just be like, somebody picks up the phone and is just, Hey, boner. Chase them right away.
Well, actually, what I do is it works for me. Like sometimes I'll get unsolicited. See, not so much here in this house because in this house we're not on the road. We're actually 150 feet off the road, up a driveway that's inclined. So we don't get a whole lot of walk-up visitors anymore. But in a previous house, we used to get lots of walk-up visitors all the time. And if I saw them making the rounds in the neighborhood, I literally would take red food coloring and put it all over me, okay, and have my hands all bloody. I'd answer the door, "What?" And they're like, "Oh." And I go, "Come on, I'm murdering small animals in here, okay? I can't be disturbed." And I shut the door.
Oh, my.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? And you know what?
Yeah.
None of them
if you did that to me,
none of them ever reported me.
I would steal something out of your yard and drive away and call the police.
Well, what the heck? You steal stuff out of my yard all the time when you show up.
Exactly. I'm not going to change just because you're murdering somebody.
No, I know. I say no, but of course, I guess they weren't too thrilled with their own product. This is beautiful. Look at this. This is the best we've seen the Thor's helmet here.
Dude, that is like
best.
Magnificently green.
It is. That's doubly ionized oxygen right there.
Yeah.
It
does kind of look like an
eagle.
Like the old Kelly Green Eagle uniforms with the old eagle, like the whole eagle on the side of the helmet. It kind of looks like that. It's kind of cool looking.
Yeah.
The face is more, but
yeah, this looks like the face looks more like a wombat. Okay, I mean that's the eye right there and the eye socket. It's sort of like a wombat head with wings. Right. That's kind of an odd looking bird bat, wombird. Which is cool. A lot going on in this image. A lot going on here. A whole lot. I would also get calls from telemarketers, the scammers. And I really have this thing about scammers. If you're trying to scam me, okay, I look at it as these people are calling people that are older and who don't know better and lose their life savings to these jerks. So what I do is I keep them on the line for as long as possible. I think the record is like 2 hours. And the guy said, I want you to, get into your computer, go here. Now download this from my website and then let me control your computer. Okay. And
right.
you can't do it unless you create what's called a virtual machine so they can actually play with your computer, but they're actually in a totally secure partition of your computer that they can't get out of. And you just play dumb, and they spend all this time thinking they're going to get money, fake bank accounts showing $10 million. Oh my gosh, they'll be your best friend. Okay, yeah. Then you just hang up on them by accident sometimes, and they call back right away. Hey, I lost you. What happened? Oh, sorry, Raul.
There's a guy
I just
here
didn't
on
know
YouTube
what was going on.
That does that.
Oh yes, I know those guys. Yeah.
Freaking great.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
And it gets better. There's a website called 419eater 419eater.com. And these guys would do scam baiting. They would bait these guys. And I participated in one of these things where there was this particularly bad guy that was scamming old people out of their life savings. Okay, yeah. And proud of it. Okay, so a lot of people participated in baiting this guy and got him to leave Nigeria and go to London because he expected a payday of like $1 million, from this quote unquote old woman who was going to pay him $1 million so she could get $30 million. Okay.
Oh, sweet.
So, yeah, a good deal if you can get it, right? Well, anyway, look, we're at the 25 stack. That's good. So anyway, they set up cameras, and we're all online watching the cameras. And sure enough, this guy shows up in a cab, and he's instructed to do a particular dance when he gets to the place, so that they know it's him. Okay, he gets out of the car, puts his hand on top of his head, starts spinning around like an idiot. Okay, because that was the dance he was supposed to do. Because the lady said, "So I know it's you. You gotta dance." And this guy was very good at imitating a woman. He go, "Oh, you gotta dance. Put your hand on your head and do that little spinny thing, kind of whatever." And he did it. And the next thing you see is the London police pulling up and arresting him right on the spot. And he went to jail in England for scamming this lady, who just happened to be, by the way, in England. So he literally went right to the country where he scammed a lady, and he didn't even know he was doing it because he's an idiot.
The guy's name is Pierogi. Nice.
The guy Marc's talking about is Pierogi. Is that the guy that got arrested? I don't know what the guy's name was. But these guys are so desperate to get your money that if the scam, they call scam baiters, and what the scam baiter will tell them is, if you want this money, I gotta know it's you. Show me your Sirius. Tattoo my name on your arm. And they'll get tattoos, and they'll have pictures of them getting tattoos, you know. And because they don't speak English, there's this one guy. I forget the name, his scam baiting name, but he basically had them tattoo on their arms because they couldn't read English. I was baited by whatever the name of the guy. And that's the tattoo, and it has a round little circle with a filigree around it. Oh, man. And this guy's so proud of it, and he's showing it off. Like, yep, see, I got it. You know? Oh, yeah. That's hilarious.
The guy I used to watch all the time on YouTube, his name is Kid Boga. And
Boga. Yeah, Boga.
Great.
Kid Boga.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's sort of a heavy-set guy with black hair. He looks like the kid that was the science nerd in school.
Yeah.
Kit Boga. Yeah, I watched him too. He has that Russian guy who's a hacker who can actually... He would connect to the machines of these Indian scammers and connect to their webcams and show them their own face. And the guy's like, what are you doing? And he's trying to shut it down. And then he would proceed to destroy the machine. And because they're on a network connected to each other, he would destroy all the machines in that particular Indian scam baiting scammer operation.
Dude, when Kid Boga acts like an old lady and he's in playing stupid with these scammers, dude, I die laughing. And then they'll because they'll tell him to go get like these cards and everything, so he'll like make up some fake cards, and then he'll act like he's like spending them at Best Buy, and the guy's like, no, you're supposed to send me that. Why would you? And you start calling him stupid and everything.
Yeah, they say, you are supposed to send me these cards. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I thought that's so what funny. You wanted me to do.
Yeah, he's one of the best, man. And his grandma voice is impeccable.
Yeah, well, he's using a voice changer.
Yeah.
And I think that.
But just his mannerisms really cool. And how he talks is just dead on.
Yeah.
So
okay, coming back to reality here, we have 32 frame stack of Thor's helmet, and it's an impeccable stack, perfect in every regard. So I'm gonna wait for the 33rd here in just 6 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, and here it is. And now we have our 33rd stacked image. This is going to be a beautiful image. We're going to save this now. There it is, and it's safely on the server, and we're going to save it just as you see it here, exactly as seen. Even if you crop these, this is 4,144 pixels across by 2,822. All right, that's a huge sensor, so that's going to gives you plenty of stuff, bigger than this is 4 times bigger than your largest screen resolution, so with a natural size, so it's going to be perfect. All right, Thor's helmet was an unmitigated success. I cannot wait to play with that. Okay, and of course neither can Izabela.
Hey-o.
All right, very good. Hey-o. All right. Now, let's go see one more thing here. Let's come in here. Let's go down to 1 second. Set it to 1 second. This has been a good night. Really makes up for last night where we had that internet outage. All right, and then we do this. Okay, there we go. And let's go back to fitting the frame in the entire view. There we go. And now let's go back. All right, and let's go into this. beautiful thing here, and
Sausage.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Let's find out. I don't know how far down I can go on. Maybe. Might be able to see it. Not sure.
Yeah. Try it.
Yeah, see. We go down there. See, Courageous Cat?
Yeah.
So there. Yeah, see.
Yeah. Copper.
Yeah, you know what that is, right? Courageous Cat and Minnie Mouse. Remember Courageous Cat and Minnie Mouse?
Nope.
Courageous Cat and Minnie Mouse were a cartoon, you know, and they would go and bring the bad guys, and of course the bad guy was the frog.
Yeah, well, was it on TV when you were little?
Yes, modeled after James Cagney.
Well, that was back when driver's license came on scrolls.
Oh.
I'm not that old.
Oh.
What's your social security number? 4.
What movie is that from?
I don't remember.
Because everything you say comes from a movie. Everything.
I know.
No exception.
Like a walking movie.
Movie paraphernalia. Movie fandom. Kevy Kev says, why the green color with the helmet? That's because primarily what's been blown off of this star's atmosphere is a lot of gases have been blown off, hydrogen and neon and other things. But primarily it's going to be hydrogen will have come off at one point, and then oxygen went out, and that's what we're seeing there. A lot of oxygen. All right. And that is definitely the oxygen that you're seeing, doubly ionized oxygen.
Yeah.
So this is Asmoditsky. Okay, we're centering on that star right there. It's putting it right there, and then we're going to go down to the Calabash Nebula.
Shepherd.
Yeah. The reason this nebula, this next cluster is really cool is because of what's in it. This is a young cluster of stars. All right. But in that young cluster of stars is something odd, something that doesn't belong. And that is a dying star, a star that has died. Okay. Whoops, sorry. And it's gone now.
Hey. Who said dying stars don't belong? Our cosmos is all inclusive. It'll even accept you, Marc. You'll go out there into space, and the cosmos will just be like, "Oh, hi, Marc." See? I'll work it in. I'll work it in.
I know you will.
Every single time. You'll get there and have that. I'll get there and be. Hey, boner. Welcome to the cosmos.
That's right. Here's a young cluster of stars, a few million years old. And then here's a star right here. It looks like it's in this cluster. And it's odd because...
all stars don't matter.
What?
That's a good one, Michael.
All stars matter. Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah. All stars matter.
All stars matter.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Let's go to 75% on this. Okay. So in this star cluster, you'll notice that there is this weird object. That's actually a planetary nebula. That's a remnant of a star that died. In the middle, you can see that little star dot. That star dot is a white dwarf. That white dwarf is tens of thousands of Kelvin in temperature, or many tens of thousands in Fahrenheit. And that is ionizing this shell of gas that was ejected from the star. This is not a supernova. This is actually a planetary nebula. It's the death of a star more like the mass of the sun. And that's how our sun's going to go. It's going to start ejecting its outer layers at some point. And they will have a lot of hydrogen and oxygen in their shells. And what we're seeing right here is a shell of oxygen and hydrogen. And when we take a longer exposure here, we take a nice exposure actually, you'll see this for sure. So let's do a 12-second exposure and start with that, and let's see if that's going to work. I want to show the if I go too long, it'll overexpose it.
Yeah, it's already got some
really
noise.
really a good telescope. Well, the noise is okay. The noise gets averaged out as we stack.
Right.
So here we go. Let's see what we got.
See if we can make it crispy.
Yeah, there we go. So now what I'm going to do is bring a little more. Yeah, okay. See, even that's a little too much. But you see the noise in between the stars here? Okay. With this next exposure, watch how that noise kind of gets minimized. Ready? Just watch this area right here. Ready? Watch now. Here we go. Bonk. Did you see it darken a little?
Sausage.
You are just so impossible.
Yeah. Works good. It just kind of looks like a little funny with that little green dot there, but now that you explained it, it makes total sense.
Yeah. It's a planetary nebula. And for those asking, and that is Michael Klages, who's asking, this is... let me just get over to it so I can show you. This is Messier 46. It's an open cluster in Boötes, and this is a young cluster, like I said, and it's fairly rich, 50 to 100 stars, and then you got that little planetary nebula in it. All right, so that's really kind of cool. So let's go take a look now how it looks now. Oh yeah, look at that. Notice how that modeling, that noisiness is starting to go away now?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we even, like I said, we even took too long an exposure. I want to actually, just for fun, I'm going to drop this from 12 seconds. I'm going to drop it down to
8.
You got it. Like you say, I'll do 8 seconds, and we'll clear this stack right here. All right. And now we'll see what 8 seconds. Now it gets to 8 seconds and reads it out. So, all right. So that's a little better. Now that's going to be a much better stack. All right, because now we're going to be able to see more detail in this. Look at that. That's Messier 46 in Boötes, and it's actually got a beautiful planetary nebula, remnant of a dead star, and the white dwarf in the middle. You can actually see it. Yeah. Okay. And while we're looking at that, I'm going to make a check now and see if we can do one other thing that Michael Klages asked for way back in the beginning. I haven't forgotten. Let's do
We are literally taking a sky tour.
I love it. I mean, that's what we're all about, right?
And that's what we're all about.
Boop. Actually, I can just, do this. Let's see. M81. Let's try that. All right. And let's go search, find it, and see what its elevation is. 45. We might be able to do this. So we're going to take just a short number because we only did, we're only doing a short stack of this, and we've got 11 already. So we'll go to 12, and then we'll stop here. Okay, 13, lucky number. 13 was the number of my old house.
How does oxygen come out of a super hot star that blows up?
Oxygen is the oxygen nucleus is in the envelope of the star. Sometimes they're made with it because, again, a star is made from a lot of elements that were in the universe to begin with after other stars made them in their nuclear furnaces inside the core, and then got liberated to the interstellar medium through supernovae or planetary nebulae. But then a star might actually be made with oxygen in its envelope, that is the outer part, because only the stuff in the very core is actually fusing. All the stuff is just, the rest of it's just fluff. It's just there because it's adding mass bearing down on that core. All right. So they might have a lot of oxygen from previous supernovae. All right. And if it's a star like this, it didn't make oxygen in its core. It was when it was first brought into existence, it had oxygen in its envelope, and that's why we see it like this. Okay. Oxygen is very obvious as green, but you've got some red in here as well. And we do some processing later, post all this stream, you'll see that. Okay.
There you go.
Saved up there. We can clean this out of here. We're going to save this stack, and it's already been saved. Now we're going to kill it. Go back to 1 second. And now we're going to honor Michael Klage's requests from earlier tonight.
Honor
we just had to wait for it to come up, Michael. That's all. We had to wait for it to come up. I don't believe the sombrero is up first yet. Okay. Now, we have 1 second here. We're going to do that. Okay. Here we go. Boötes galaxy. Ready? Off we go. Now watch the telescope. It's going to swing wildly around. Okay. There it goes. Heading toward the north. And it's at 45 degrees. It's going for a star first. Probably going to go to Dubé. This star right here. That's probably where it's going to go. As a guide. Probably Dubé. Yep. Dubé. So there's Dubé. I'm also at 75%. So obviously the accuracy of the scope is quite good. But I will go out to auto mode here. Now you're going to get to see 2 galaxies in one shot. But if you look carefully after we take the shot, you're going to see more. You're going to see more galaxies. Because there's actually more galaxies in the view than just M81 and M82. There they are. Okay. Again, remember, 3 full moons tall, 4 full moons across. There's Measure 81. It's a spiral galaxy. There's Measure 82. The Cigar Galaxy, also known as the Starburst Galaxy. And it is actually a starburst galaxy. Okay. All right. So let's bring this up here into the view. And because this is so bright, we actually don't have to do a whole lot of a stack on this. So we're going to do a short stack on this as well. All right. So we're going to set
like
this.
Some pancakes.
Like a short stack of pancakes. And we've got pancakes right there.
Yummy.
All right, we're going to do, let's do 15 seconds. All right. And then we'll come out of this. And you'll notice the green bar now across the bottom. Now we'll set up our stack. Come in here. Our live stack is going. And so now at the end of 15 seconds, we're going to see what happens. Yes, there's another one down there, Michael. You're right. There we go. And there's the other one he's talking about right there. So this is the Starburst Galaxy. And this is really pretty. I want to just come in and just get do a color correction here real quick. There we go. And this might be too much. Yeah, a little bit. So I'm gonna drop that brightness down a little bit. Okay. And now when we come out, you're gonna see more structure in the galaxy. Look at that. Ah, is that not pretty? Okay, now this is 3 stacked already. And let's go to 75%. Okay, here is the Starburst Galaxy. Okay, and you can see it's got structure up and above and below. And now let's take a look at this galaxy, this beautiful spiral. Look at those spiral arms. Isn't that pretty? Just stunning. And each of these little kind of reddish areas, these are like Orion nebulas, but as seen in another galaxy, millions of light years away. And speaking of that, you're seeing this galaxy as it was, millions of years in the past.
Time machine.
Right? You got it. Now, all these stars you see are up here in our galaxy, and this galaxy is way back here. So we're seeing this galaxy with other stars superimposed on the front of it. Okay? This galaxy is millions of light years further than those stars. because these are all stars in our galaxy, and we're looking through that veil. Hey there, Judy. Judy McClelland is here. Nice to see you. I didn't see you writing before. Yep. So there we go. And let's just go back up to the Starburst Galaxy and check that out. There we go.
What is it with galaxies and candy names?
Well, this is this galaxy pair. The reason that's called the Starburst Galaxy has nothing to do with candy, obviously. It's named that because of the fact that it actually is showing lots of star formation. Now, these two are actually relatively close to each other in space. These have in the past gravitationally interacted with each other and may still be. So that interaction could have caused shock waves or gravitational motions in this galaxy, which forced it to start making a massive amount of star formation. And that's what we're seeing here. This red is massive, massive star formations, massive stellar nurseries. Just incredible. Imagine
so
stellar
like
nursery.
Kick off the boiling process, if you will.
Effectively the same, yeah. And it's like pop, 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 pop. Stars come into existence. So it's really cool.
Into that.
Yeah, I will actually. I will do that. All right, so Mesher 81, Mesher 82 here at SkyTour Livestream.
Heyo.
There we go. You can see some detail in there. Look at all that. There's a lot going on in there.
Right?
Yeah, 15 stacked. Yeah. Yep. And then if we come down here, it really is beautiful to zoom into Mesher 81 as well. Because Mesher 81 really does have a beautiful countenance.
It's kind of flipped like perfectly for imaging.
It is, isn't it? Look at that. Wow. Isn't that something?
Just think, there's probably life there doing its own thing right now.
Looking back at us. Yeah, it's a bright core. It's actually overexposed. You know, if I actually did this at the right exposure to show that core properly, you'd never see any of these spiral arms. But that's how the galaxy is, you know. Look at these strings of H2 regions, star-forming regions. Look at these. Look at this one here. This is pretty big. And there. And all around here, there's more of them. See this nebula, this vast nebula here? This is just incredible. Actually, this isn't actually zoomed, Ralph. This is actually the native size. If I want to actually zoom it more than this, I mean, I could go to like 800%, and then it would be a digital zoom, and then, of course, it would look like this, pixelated and unrecognizable. Right? That's a digital zoom. But anything up to 100, 100 is the natural size of this sensor. Right? So when I go less than 100, I'm doing a fitting to the screen. So when I go to auto, this is just fitting it to the screen. Okay, this is the full frame right here of the camera, right? And it's because the camera fills the whole screen, and when we go to 100%, well then, you know, we've got this going on. We're looking at this amazing night sky here with this galaxy. There's no digital zoom here. That's the native format right there, the native size right there. Isn't that cool? These are guiding artifacts from the pixels that are showing up at the same place in the camera. They're dead, so I remove those later. This is beautiful. Okay, 25 amazing. Stacked. We're gonna stop here because this is a beautiful night. I don't want to stop, but I got to. I have to be up early tomorrow.
Same.
Yeah, I was supposed to go 2 hours, and instead we're doing 3 hours.
That's usually how we do it.
Is it ever any different? You know?
No. Just even I'm like, oh, Mark, you want
okay,
to come on P&K stream for 2 hours? And next thing you know, 5.5 hours later, we're like, oh, we'll wrap it up for the night.
I know.
Oh, man.
Okay, we've saved this. So now it's up there. It's on its way up to the server. Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's just stunning. Well, guys, you've done it again. You've wasted another 3 hours of time with SkyTour Livestream. And hopefully you've learned something. Actually, if you notice the galaxy disk, it's mostly blue stars, and the inner core is mostly yellow stars. That's because it's in these spiral arms where these star-forming regions are, and where the youngest stars are, and the youngest stars tend to be blue. So there you go. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming out. Don't forget, you gotta. Oh, Marianne's. You were supposed to go to sleep, Marianne.
Right.
I'm ending now, Marianne. If you can tell, I've just been saying so. Yeah. No. Bye, Keith. So we're on our way out, and I want to thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate your time here, and I'm hopeful that we'll be at it again. The moon is rising, but we can still take pictures because our filter allows us to view all the way up to the full moon and still see reasonably dark skies because we kind of filter out the moonlight. But anyway, yes, it's beautiful. So thanks, guys, and we'll as Izabela probably won't get a chance to mention it, but the M81 and M82 images will be up on the server here in just a few minutes. So thank you. Make sure you come again. Keith, as you know, when I leave, you're not going to be heard, and I won't be able to hear you until it's all over. But just hang out.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
In any case, guys, you have a good night, and we'll talk to you really soon, all right?
Take care now. Bye-bye,
good night, everybody. Thank you now. Goodbye. Yeah.